Hello and welcome in for everybody tuning in to the YouTube live stream. I really appreciate you so much for being here. Same thing to the 2,000 people that have joined so far over on TikTok. Thank you so much for giving me some of the time out of your day. And welcome to the 346th episode of the Dean Wither Show. Today's live stream is a little bit earlier than most. It is a mere 9 a.m. out here in Colorado. And if you can't tell by looking at me, which you probably can, I'm tired as shit. I have a flight to catch later this afternoon out to LA. That's why we're live early. But last night, I got maybe an inconsistent 6 hours. So, oh my goodness, I'm tired. Hopefully, I'll be able to get some sleep on that plane. Now, if you've never been here before, let me tell you what we do. We debate Trump supporters. We try to change their minds because there are so many Americans that still somehow support the terrible administration governing over us, and they shouldn't. He's the worst president of your life, my life, the life of any of you who are watching the stream. And if you disagree with me, feel free to hop into the guest requests over on TikTok, and we'll pull you up here for a discussion. So that'll be great. That's what we do. We do debate. So make sure if you're joining inside of that queue over on TikTok, you are an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. And for everybody else tuning in, I appreciate you so much for being here. Welcome into Livia and Liam over on TikTok. Just two names that I saw over there real quick. Over on YouTube, welcome in to Leliani, the War God Gamer, Phoenix Man, and let's see here. ICUY. So good morning, everybody. I appreciate y'all for being here. Now, I'd assume that there's probably quite a few of y'all not in the States, it was definitely not morning for. So I do apologize if you feel left out. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and go over the breaking news for the day before we quickly hop into the debate. So terrified Pete Hegseth is running away from the catastrophe that he started, the war in Iran. We all know that it's his fault. We all know that it's Trump's fault, that it is what it is. I mean, Friday evening, we dropped bombs on their country, killed upwards of 100 children, and took out their supreme leader. We started the war. Regardless if you think it's a good war or a bad war, we started it, right? Now, Pete Hegseth is actually now telling us that we didn't start the war and that we just had to respond. So it just seems like he's scared because he knows that there will be, and there already are, negative repercussions for Americans across this country. And by the way, if you want to know what those negative repercussions look like, overnight, the average price of a gallon of gasoline went up by 11 cents, you guys. So we are already seeing those repercussions. Another thing here, my allergies are coming on quite strong indeed. So I'm actually just going to take a moment here to quickly go grab an allergy pill. They're like 20 feet away in my bedroom. It's probably better that I do that now compared to later. So for everybody tuning into the stream on TikTok, make sure that you are double tapping away on that phone screen. Let's try to get up to 100,000 likes. Also, make sure that you're hopping in that queue if you're an American adult that supports Trump as president. Like I said, probably better that I do it now compared to later. I'm going to go grab an allergy pill so I don't literally die. I'll be back in like 20 seconds tops. Okay, welcome back. All right, I apologize for the delay, everybody. I apologize for the delay. Oh my goodness. It wasn't even an allergy pill that I had. It was that solution that you just shoot up your nose. Woo! All right, I'm dying over here. Okay, I'm going to quickly blow my nose again. Then we're going to go to get that first guest up here. I apologize for all the delays. I'm fucking dying. All right. Now, drumroll please for the moment you've all waited for. Now that we have given Dean's allergies a couple minutes of airtime, we're going to go ahead and hop into the debate. So only join inside of that queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. Please do try your very best to follow the rules. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome in, Emily. Do you support Trump?
Yes.
How old are you?
20.
What year were you born in?
2005, December
Okay.
15.
And why do you support the very worst president of your life, Mr. Trump?
I feel like you low-key try to debate people that aren't as good.
I have a question. Who has the ability to join in the guest requests on TikTok?
So I feel like you purposely try to do that to try to make yourself look smart and stuff. Like that other guy that was talking about immigration with you, he ate you up.
Yeah, I bet you think many guests eat me up because you're not too smart of a person, given the fact that you're a Trump supporter. Now, you said that I try to debate people.
Who said I
that
support
make me look
Trump? I
bad.
was lying. Like what?
Okay, that's embarrassing. But please do answer my question. Who has the ability to request to join my live streams?
Okay, so why don't you want to debate people that are actually
Why is she not answering my question? Who has the ability to
because
join
no one cares
my
about your
live
dumbass
streams?
question.
Okay, well, the reason why you don't care about my dumbass question is because my quote-unquote dumbass question
Okay,
cooks your
then
fraud
kick me.
ass.
It's not
Because
that-
you know it is the case that absolutely anybody and everybody has the ability to join my live streams. How stupid are you looking right now? Think about it. You're sitting over here telling me that I only want to debate people that are less intelligent than me or not as good at debating as me, and she left. But you know, then the question arises, who has the ability to join the streams? And you know, that's actually a really good... She ran away, by the way. This is actually a really good moment to remind you all of that very simple fact. Anybody and everybody has the ability to join these live streams. So if you are an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president, feel free to hop inside of that queue. We are just looking for Trump supporters. So let's go and get that very next guest, Mr. Right, loaded up into the box. Hello, welcome in. Do you support Trump?
I do.
How old are you?
27.
And you support Trump? Oh, man. All right, tell us how. How do you support the very worst president of your life, Mr. Trump, Mr. Wrong?
How do can you say that again?
How the hell do you support Trump as president, Mr. Wrong?
Yeah, I mean, he's just the best thing. I mean, he's honestly, in my opinion, one of the best things to ever happen to America during my lifetime.
Jesus Christ, are you trolling?
No, I swear.
Wait, why? I mean, it's just crazy
Because
for us to
we got
reflect
our
on this guy.
balls back.
Well, we got our balls back when we finally get a president who's willing to pardon domestic terrorist, violent criminals who try to kill cops on the steps of our Capitol. Did that give us our balls back?
You can say that.
How so? How so? You think that letting domestic terrorists roam free in the streets of this country is giving America its balls back? How so?
Well, Antifa is a domestic terrorist group, so we got to start locking them up.
Okay, well, I mean, not only are you not responding to the point that I'm making, but you're just making a new dumbass point instead.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, that was a bad play. You know, I don't support everything that he does, but I support a lot.
So Antifa, we need to lock up everybody who says they're Antifa?
Yeah.
Okay, so why is saying that you're Antifa make you a domestic terrorist?
Yeah, and everybody who associates with somebody who claims to be Antifa should be investigated by federal government agents.
Okay.
But
Can you answer my question, though? Why does
Yeah.
saying that you're anti-fascist make you a domestic terrorist?
Yeah, because it's not what the definition of Antifa originally was. It's actually turned into a T group.
But I'm asking you how. Like, how does saying you're Antifa make you a terrorist?
Right. So, like, you can look at all the crazy malicious riots that are going around our country or have been the last couple of years, or you can go back almost 10 years, actually, and just look at all the victims and the violent crimes that have happened due to the groups who claim to be Antifa. And then you can look at what they do to our country and what their ideology is, which is essentially bringing down America as we know it.
Okay. Well, I mean, the thing here is that I don't think that you could say that one person who identifies themselves as Antifa is connected necessarily, ideologically speaking, to anybody else who calls themselves Antifa. Same thing, except for a resistance from fascism. Same thing with like placing them under the same umbrella as others who have labeled themselves as Antifa and then like engaged in a riot, right? Because there's no like Antifa organization. There's no leader of Antifa. It's not like a centralized body. But I mean, just to kind of take some points away from what you told me, it's funny because that argument would actually describe MAGA as a terrorist organization, because you said, well, if we look back at the last 5 to 10 years, we could see all the violent crimes that they're guilty of and all the riots that they started. Well, MAGA started an insurrection on our Capitol, tried to kill 174 cops in the process, barged in, broke down the doors, the walls, the windows, smeared their shit on the walls inside. Okay. A bunch of violent crimes there too. Oh my goodness. Like I said, 174 cops were almost murdered. So in accordance with your definition of what a T group is, would you also consider MAGA to be a terrorist group?
I would not. So tell me this. How many
So
times
what riot has
there been?
Antifa started that was worse than J6?
Really?
Can you answer my question?
Well, a lot of people that hold this Antifa ideology were involved in BLM protests.
Well, exactly. So not only did you just change the words, the wording there from started to involved, okay, it's different to be involved in something than it would be to start said something. But I mean, even the BLM riots, those were like small in comparison to J6. All right, like what's worse, throwing a brick through a Target's window or trying to raid our Capitol to stop an election and kill our congressmen and women?
Well, do you think that those people who actually participated, for the most part, actually
answer my
believed
question?
that the election was stolen?
Can you
Yeah.
answer my question?
Yeah, well, it's a lot worse when every single major city across the United States.
Wait, you're not answering my
was-
question. You're not answering my question. What's
Yeah,
worse,
BLM
to
protests
throw
were
a
worse.
brick through the window of a Target, or
Yeah, that's
to
not the only
raid
thing that
our
happened, though.
Capitol, stample police officers, try to kill them, smear their shit on the walls inside the Capitol, in the furtherance of an attempt to stop an election and kill our representatives? Which one is worse?
Yeah, throwing bricks through thousands of windows across the United States is worse.
Where we're talking about like one event. You can't say that Antifa started thousands of riots across this country related to BLM. That's insane.
It did.
Give me evidence for that. Give me evidence that that Antifa started thousands of riots
ideology.
across this country.
The ideology behind
Wait, so
it.
now so now you're saying that an ideology started all
I
these
said
things?
this before. This isn't the first time I spoke
but
about
what
the
I call
ideology.
earlier, because you said that what should get somebody considered to be a terrorist would be just merely labeling themselves as Antifa. Okay, but labeling myself as Antifa, anti-fascist, is not me co-signing myself to any ideology in which would support burning down buildings.
Yeah, it would.
Okay, what's the ideology?
Yeah, Marxism, leftist, woke agenda. Like you just keep on going, dude. Like you just name the left, just name anything about the left, and boom, you have a terrorist.
Okay, so you just think everybody on the left is a terrorist.
Pretty much, yeah. You guys want the country to
would you
fail.
ever vote for a reformed terrorist to be president?
No.
No? Okay, then you never vote for Trump considering the fact that he was a Democrat in the 90s.
Well, I'm talking about the current, like, Democrat
Oh my God, get
movements.
fucked. Get
Like,
fucked. I mean, just completely
Democrats
destroyed.
in the 80s and 90s were actually a lot better than the Democrats.
Oh, okay, so
today.
they weren't terrorists then, but they're terrorists now.
Oh,
So do you
maybe some
understand
of
how
them.
insane it is to say that every single person on the left is a terrorist?
It's honestly pretty true.
No, it's just buzzword propaganda. I mean, think about it, bro. How am I a terrorist for thinking that we shouldn't have a president, okay, who's raped women, committed 34 felonies, has already now started a war in the Middle East, wants to invade one of our allies, and wants to destroy this country from within, regardless if it's deporting people predicated on their race to then send them down to a place in El Salvador where they're literally tortured, or has refused to act in accordance with a court order to feed 16 million starving American children. Like, how am I a terrorist for wanting to uphold the Constitution? How am I a terrorist for wanting to uphold law? How am I a terrorist, okay, for not wanting a predator to have power over their prey? How am I a terrorist for not wanting a bill that takes healthcare away from 10 million low-income Americans when we already have 51,000 low-income Americans die every single year via lack of access to healthcare? How am I the terrorist? If anything, what we'd argue here is that the MAGA movement, the MAGA cult, including people like you, are significantly closer in proximity to what would be considered a terrorist because, unlike anybody on the left, your president has actually pardoned terrorists.
All right, let's talk about it. Let me ask you some questions. Yeah, I guess the way that you explain it doesn't necessarily make you a terrorist. But let me ask you a couple of questions. Is that all
But
right?
okay, so you concede.
Yeah. Let
Okay.
me ask you a couple of
Okay. So
questions.
okay. Now I want
The
you
way that you
real
just
quick. I want you
explained
to
that,
answer
yeah,
one
that
more
would.
question here. Okay. So okay. Thank you for conceding that claim. Can we agree that the J6 rioters who tried to kill cops were actually terrorists?
If you're actively trying to harm law enforcement officers, that could be perceived as more of a T. But I think more Democrats do
Wait.
that.
Can I just get an answer? Like, were they terrorists?
Yeah, lock them up.
Okay. Would you ever support anybody who supports
Dude, you told
terrorists?
me you had one more question for me, and then I could ask you some
I know.
questions.
This is the last one. Would you
Yeah,
ever
yeah,
support somebody
okay.
who supports terrorists?
Are you saying that Trump supports actively harming law
No.
enforcement?
No, no, no,
I
no,
don't think I don't
no.
think
The
that he actively did
Trump's a
that.
good man. Answer my question. Would you ever support anybody who supports terrorists as president?
Supports terrorists and like pardons them for like. Can we just get off of this? Because obviously this is just.
Oh.
Yeah, I
So
can
you
see. Let's
recognize the
go.
issue
Let's
now.
go. Let me
Because
ask
you've
you these
spent,
questions,
one
dude.
moment, Mr. Wrong. You've spent the entire time on the stream so far labeling everybody on the left as terrorists, trying to say that the woke agenda wants the downfall of this country. And simultaneously, you've been describing your absolute disdain for these terrorists. But now you understand where I'm going with this, okay? You have to concede that the J6 rioters were terrorists if you want to label
Not all of them.
a random Democrat as a terrorist, okay? Right? And then you also have to acknowledge the fact that Donald Trump pardoned every single J6 rioter, including those that tried to kill cops on the steps of our Capitol. So, in other words, in accordance with your view, Donald Trump pardoned terrorists. So now, in accordance with your view, you're actively supporting a president that supports terrorists and wants them to roam free in the streets of this country. So clearly, you have to get off this topic because you are such a fucking hypocrite for, in one breath, condemning everybody on the left, labeling them as terrorists, saying that's why you never vote blue, while in the next breath saying, I actually support the first president in modern American history that has given full and complete presidential pardons to terrorists. Like, you're insane.
All right. I'm gonna ask you a couple questions.
He's not going to respond to it. Okay, yeah, whatever.
All right. Do you think America is the best country on the planet?
It depends
To
on what
ever
metric
exist
you'd be
on the
making that
face.
judgment on.
No, so to ever exist on the face of the planet, is it your favorite?
Is it my favorite country ever? No.
Is it the best?
Is based upon my metric of what I would consider to be the best country? No.
Okay. What would you change?
What would I change about America? Well, first, I'd implement good economic reform to ensure that the low and middle class hold the purchasing power, not the top 1%. I mean, the average American can't make ends meet, is living paycheck to paycheck, can't pay rent. We need to do something about that. Something else that I'd change is I'd ensure that American women and girls have legally protected access to abortion. Because of Donald Trump
bathrooms.
overturning Roe v. Wade, we now have 60 pregnant victims of rape that are denied access to abortion in this country every single day. Something else that I'd change here is I'd ensure that we have good cooperating agreements with our transatlantic allies, those allyships that Donald Trump has significantly eroded. And I'd also ensure that, we don't see children starving. I mean, 1 in 5 children in West Virginia is starving, and we need to do something about that. Same thing with the children in every other state across the country. I think that every child deserves food, bed, clothes, water, and a high quality education, and they're not getting that here right now. And something else I'd change would just be, the social norms, because for whatever reason in this country, it's considered normal to support somebody as president who's raped a woman. It's considered normal to support somebody as president who we know has illegally hid files accusing him of child rape. It's normal to support somebody as president that has sexually exploited naked women and girls. It's normal to support somebody as president that gave pardons to terrorists, as we just went over. It's normal to support somebody as president, okay, that was hitting on a 10-year-old girl in the 90s. Those are some of the things that I'd change.
Right, so some of those things I actually agree with you. There shouldn't be a single homeless veteran on our streets. There shouldn't be a single homeless person in general on our streets. I agree with portions of what you said, but what I'm talking about is the country as a whole fundamentally, not like how it works for the middle or the lower class and how, like, I'm asking you, what would you change about our politics?
Yeah, I just answered that question. I just think that you're too
To
dumb
an
to understand my
extent.
answer.
To
No,
an
not to an
extent.
extent. I did. The country is the people. So I told you
Oh, okay.
what should
So
change
so
for the
so you're
people.
happy with Trump being president because that's the people who spoke. The people spoke.
No, I'm not happy with Trump being president. I don't think it's fair for you to equate me saying that I want to ensure that the people are better off to therefore me saying that I'm happy with whatever the people with whatever the people choose. Okay,
Do you agree
because
that the people
whatever the
spoke?
people choose
And this is our
doesn't
country now.
necessarily. One moment. Does not necessarily inform us. Okay, about what would be the best for the people.
But you agree that the people, the majority of voters, spoke, and this is what we have. This is our country, and either you like it or you don't.
Yeah, and I don't like it, and I don't think you should either because it's actively harmful to this country.
Oh, so like you don't want Venezuela's oil? You don't think that that's beneficial for our country?
Well, I mean, we don't have Venezuela's oil.
We
They're
have a
actually
lot of
selling
it.
it, then putting the
We have a
profits
lot
in
of it.
offshore bank accounts solely controlled by Trump. Now, why did you ignore so many of the things that I said there? It's like you completely went over me bringing up the fact that Trump raped a woman, sexually exploited women and girls, illegally hid files accusing him of child rape, and instead you're talking about Venezuelan oil. Why don't we have a conversation about the Epstein files? Why don't we have a
At the end of the
conversation
day, I'm
about
just
what
a
Donald Trump has
Republican.
done?
At the end of the day, I'm just a Republican. The only way I can get up here is to say that I solely back Trump and support Trump. I'm just a Republican that wants to argue with a Democrat. How about that?
Okay, so you don't support Trump as president? All that it took me was threatening to talk to you about the Epstein files?
I mean, I don't support everything that he's implicated in. I don't believe that he is involved in as much as the left perceives him to be and tries to portray him to be. But yeah, there's some questionable things where I'm like, what the fuck?
Okay. Was it questionable when he said he'd just barge into the dressing rooms of naked women and girls to look at their naked bodies?
Yeah, yeah, dude. You and I have talked about this exact same situation before. Yeah, him saying that he goes backstage is wrong.
Yeah. Also, what was the main reason why people voted for Trump in the election, going back to your the people spoke
Immigration.
warning? No, actually, according to exit polls, it was the economy. And how's the
Is he
economy doing nearly a year and a half later?
better than during COVID? Notice how I didn't say Biden.
Congratulations. Yeah, it is doing better today than it was during COVID. But answer my question, not relative to COVID. How's the economy doing today?
Better
Better than when?
than the last 5 years.
Really? So you think the economy is doing better today in 2026 and in 2025 than it was in 2024, 2023?
Better than 2023.
Okay, why do you think that?
It's not the case. Explain to me if that's not the case.
Yeah, in 2025 we got the worst
I said
annualized
better than
jobs report since
2023.
'03. If we ignore recessions, we had the most manufacturing bankruptcies since '08, highest level of unemployment in 5 years, most layoffs in 5 years as well. Not to mention, we've been seeing a steady declining amount of business investment into American manufacturing every single quarter since Trump's inauguration for the first time since COVID.
There's actually a huge amount of jobs that are open. It's just people don't want the jobs.
So actually, last year, what my point was that you didn't
We need
respond to
600,000
is that we
welders.
only added a little bit under 200,000 jobs to the economy. So can you please respond to my explanation about how literally every single macroeconomic variable is worse off today than it was under Biden?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know every single stat. I don't do this every day, like you do, or damn near every day. I can give you a lot of things. Like we have a lot of job openings here in the United States today. We
Okay,
need
so
six
you're
hundred
just
thousand
giving.
welders. We need a million plumbers. We need another 500,000 electricians. We need a ton of people to keep up with the military, and we need people to work on military bases doing stuff like repairing rocket launchers and naval ships.
Yeah, but the issue is that we've actually had less and less Americans going to work with more and more job openings under Trump, which is just a bigger issue too, right? Like the fact that we have all these job openings, and last year we still saw the highest level of unemployment in 5 years still increasing, and the most layoffs in 5 years as well. That's an issue, okay? And that's an issue that has only gotten worse under the Trump administration.
Really, not underneath the Obama administration, or not underneath the Biden administration at all.
Yeah, it's only gotten worse under the Trump administration. Yeah, so far, like I said, Highest level of unemployment in 5 years.
Yeah, in 5, not 6. During
What?
during uh during COVID it was like the worst.
Unemployment?
Yeah,
Yeah, under
ever.
whose admin?
What do you mean?
Under whose admin? I said it's only gotten better under the Biden administration. And that was right, because the highest level of unemployment under COVID was under Trump in April of 2019 when it was 14.8%. My point follows. But I
He
still
shut
feel like
down
you're
the
just deflecting away from it because I'm trying to have a conversation about economics with somebody that doesn't understand economics. Like here I am saying that Donald Trump is delusional and clearly doesn't care about this country because he's ranking our economy in A+++++++. And then we see all these negative economic outcomes like layoffs, bankruptcies, jobs report, unemployment, investment, so on and so forth. And then this guest is just kind of ignoring that, then bringing up, oh, we have all these job openings. Then I'm like, yes, but we only continue to have more job openings and less employed Americans. And that issue has only become worse under Trump, with the stat I gave you being that we now have the highest level of unemployment in 5 years. And it's like you're not really responding to any of this.
Okay,
I
right.
just kind of feel like you got to be a troll or something because you're just not engaging with the content provided. You can't make a point. Like genuinely, for everybody watching this live, have you heard this guy make a point in the last 10 minutes? Because I don't think I have.
Okay, so yes, there's more job openings now than America's had in a long time. Is it the president's fault that people aren't working these jobs, or is it the people's fault that they're not working the jobs?
I'd argue that when we see people who are working jobs getting laid off, 1.3 million layoffs last year, and a declining growth rate in real median wages, with the most economic instability in modern American history since the pandemic, onset by Donald Trump's mass deportation and his tariffs, he definitely creates and promotes an environment that would lead to less Americans being employed, and we cannot negate that nuance.
Or is it because people see what goes to their taxpayer dollars and it's all these left ideologies that are spending and frauding the entire American government system and all the taxpayer dollars as a whole?
Okay, so who's in control of expenditure right now? The Trump administration and the
Yeah,
Republicans.
that's why they're cracking down
The
on your
Republicans dominate
party.
the executive branch. The Republicans dominate the House. And the Republicans dominate the Senate. And the Republicans dominate the Supreme Court. But no, we don't have an increasing level of unemployment because Americans aren't happy with where their tax dollars are being spent. Give me a single source to demonstrate that claim is true. I want to see any feasible evidence that less people are working now because our money is being spent on leftist
Yeah, less
fraud.
people are working for Democrats.
I want you to show me that. I want you to show me an empirical source that proves the only reason why our unemployment rate is so high is because people don't want to work and then pay taxes into a system that wastes it on leftist fraud. Give me a source for that claim.
I'll pull up Minnesota stats right now.
No. What you're going to attempt to pull up is like some stat of leftist fraud. That's not what I asked you for, which by the way is a whole other conversation where you lose too. I want you to pull me up a source over the macroeconomically speaking, over the totality of this country that demonstrates that our unemployment rate is at a 5-year high because they don't want to work and pay taxes into a system that wastes it on leftist fraud. Because that claim is utter fucking delusion. You are absolutely economically illiterate. You have no clue what you're talking about. Okay, and your head's underwater and you're drowning in this conversation because you're talking to somebody who does know what they're talking about. So now you're just rambling off bullshit claims, and I'm now going to call you out on it. Give us your source that over the totality of this country, the reason why the United States of America's unemployment rate is at a 5-year high is because less people want to work to pay taxes into a system that's wasting it on leftist fraud.
Yeah, or on just like leftist like health benefits and like all this bullshit, dude. Like just wasting on the left in general. Like,
Yeah,
that's
just
why I said
whatever.
you guys
You want to
terrorists.
generalize the claim so it's easier for you to provide a
Terrorists.
source for because your original claim was so bad. But I'm fine with asking for a source for that too.
No, you're just a terrorist, bro.
Oh, so now you're not going to give me a source because you want to label me as a terrorist, and this is exactly why your life is pitiful, right?
Can I ask
The
you,
moment
why are you
somebody
always
presses
sick,
you on
dude?
your
Why do you look
bullshit,
sick?
okay, one moment. The moment somebody presses you on your bullshit, you call them a sick terrorist because you can't admit that you were wrong. Stop
Yes,
acting
you
like a
look
petulant
sick.
man-child. Provide a source for your claim.
Why are you always sick, bro?
Why can't you provide a source for your claim? This is the most like obvious pivot ever.
I just don't give a fuck, dude.
So you're bowing out.
I just really don't give a fuck.
Got him. Holy shit. Dean wins again.
My name's Dean too.
Do you mind if I ask you what it's like to lose a debate?
I didn't even fucking care about the debate. I've won debates against you before. I really just don't give a shit. I'm hungover as fuck.
Okay. We're going to go get that next guest loaded up into the box because that guy just kind of bowed out. That was kind of embarrassing, I'm not going to lie. Let's go to get that next guest loaded up into the queue, y'all. Only up inside of that box if you happen to be an American adult that supports Trump. Welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
Okay, give me one moment here. Couple people to thank here over on Venmo and PayPal real quick. Jen, thank you for the $5 for the Zyrtec fund. Grace, thank you for the $7.50. Are you allergic to Momo? I am. And then Ben, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo, who says you can't just upgrade your political opponent to a terrorist because you're mad. And that's exactly what he did there at the end of the debate. Thank you, Ben. And Connor, thank you for the $5. And Lillian, I appreciate you for the $1. And then I think we maybe just have like one person over on PayPal. Over on PayPal, Lily, thank you so much for the $15. Who says, you're on early today. Normally, I just watch the VODs on my way to work and from work, and I've sent a few donations before when I've managed to catch the streams. Sending love from UK's railways. Well, shout out to you, Lily. Yes, we are on very early today. We have a flight to catch later, so we're doing a pretty early 3-hour live stream. Folks, if you're watching and you want to support me, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal, and the link tree in my bio everywhere, including in the bio of my TikTok account, the pinned message on YouTube, and the handle's also at the top of the phone screen. Dylan, how old are you?
I'm 26.
And why do you support Trump?
Well, like, I'll just start with like 2016. Like in 2016, I just felt like something was off about Hillary, right? And then now all this stuff's coming out. Like, have you seen like when they questioned Hillary? I'm sure you've seen it.
Yeah, if anything, I probably thought that Hillary was likely more guilty than she actually is before the deposition compared to after it. Hillary's deposition honestly made me feel a little bit better about her.
Really? So like you said, you were questioning it before, but after you don't. What about the deposition?
Well, I mean, I think during the deposition, it became very, very clear to me and everyone else who watched it that Hillary's not guilty, that she actually didn't ever personally meet Jeffrey Epstein.
And then what do you think about her husband, though?
1 second. I don't know what the hell just happened. Give me 1 second. I can't hear. Yeah. Did I just break my headset? Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Damn, I think I did just break my headset. That's really unfortunate. 1 second, everybody. Do be patient with me here for a moment. I just broke my headset. That sucks. I can still hear out of one ear, but only out of one ear. So let me try to like unplug everything, then plug it back in to see if that fixes anything. Hello? Oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, man, the headset's broken. That really sucks, and I gotta go to LA later, so. We're actually no longer gonna be able to do a 3-hour live stream, everybody. We're gonna have to drop that down to a 2.5-hour live stream, so I have some time to go grab a good headset on my way to the airport. That really sucks. That really sucks. I'll be able to do the live stream like this, just hearing out of one ear. Like, it'll be fine, just kind of annoying, but the live stream will have to be a bit shorter so I could go get a new headset. Damn, man, that really sucks, dude. I mean, I've had this headset for years, so it makes sense that it's on its way out. Damn, that's really upsetting.
You just touched the cord?
Yeah, I just touched the cord, pulled on it a little bit too hard, and I think something in the connector up here.
Yeah, you might be able to just replace the cord, maybe. I mean,
yeah,
unless you damage the connection.
But see, the thing about this cord is it's not just any aux cord. It has like a special connecting bit specifically designed for the headset. So
yeah,
I have
I
to.
know.
Either...
I had Astros that had that, but they should sell replacements. I mean,
yeah,
honestly.
yeah. But I got these in a big town where I don't live anymore that had access to like more specialized gear stores. So I know that they probably don't sell this headset or a replacement cord within like a 150-mile radius of me. But anyways, you asked me what are my thoughts on Bill. I don't mind sharing my thoughts on Bill with you as long as they're like relevant to the debates. So if you could please answer the question, why do you support Trump? I'd really appreciate that.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just basically like I just feel like the Democratic Party really doesn't have any good, like they haven't had any good candidates. I didn't really support Hillary or Kamala. So that's really basically it. I don't really like Trump as a person. It's just I feel like he was better. He was better of the two.
Right. Well, I feel like there's a difference between saying Kamala Harris is not ideal and Kamala Harris is worse than Trump. Now, answer this question. Why would you sit here and argue that Donald Trump is better than Kamala Harris? Because only one of the two run an economic policy that reduces the purchasing power of the working class. That was Trump. Only one of the two ran on a new war. That's Trump. Only one of the two had raped a woman. That's Trump. And only one of the two is best friends with Epstein. And that was Trump. Only one of the two was guilty of 34 felonies. That's Trump. And only one of the two has infringed on the Constitution about 1 billion times, including Article 1, Article 2, Amendment 1, 2, 3, no, Amendment 1, 2, 5, 4, 10, 14, and 22, and that's Trump. So how could you sit here and tell us that Kamala Harris is worse?
Yeah, I feel like Kamala just like was reading a script. You know, I don't really believe like what she was saying. I guess.
So reading a script is worse than starting a new war in the Middle East? Like, even if what you're saying here is true, right? Like, it's such a, like, it's not a claim that's really, like, tangible, if that makes any sense. It's just kind of a bullshit talking point, if you want me to be honest. But even if this, like, non-tangible bullshit talking point were true and she was just always reading off a script, how is that worse than starting a new war in the Middle East?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I can't really debate on that one.
Right, because it's clearly not, right? Like, even if what you had to say were true, and like Kamala Harris didn't think for herself, she was always reading off of a script, wasn't too, like, you know, honest, like, okay, yeah, that's definitely better than a new war in the Middle East. That's definitely better than a stress test of our checks and balances and about 1 billion infringements on our Constitution, right? Like, even given what you're saying is true, she was the clearly better option in comparison to Trump.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough, man. But I guess it was cool talking to you. And good
All
luck
right,
with that headset, bro.
Yeah, you take
I'll see
care. I
you.
guess that's it. Yeah, I'm gonna look for maybe good audio stores in LA near by where I'm staying. Or you know what, actually, Parker, I think is gonna hang out with me when I get there. Maybe I could just have Parker run me around. Say, Parker, take me to this guitar center. Because he'll have his car. Does that sound like a W or an L? Does it sound like a W or an L chat? Let's go to move on to the next guest, guys. Only up inside of the queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president, please and thank you. You guys are saying yes. That'll also give me the ability to do like a full stream. So then I won't have to get off 30 minutes early. Hi, do you support Trump?
Yes.
How do you?
34.
Sounds good. Give me one moment. Sierra, thank you so much for the $15 donation over on Venmo, who says, here's some snack money for your trip today. Safe travels. Love from Michigan. Love to Michigan and love to you. Thank you for the $15. And I appreciate you so much, Sierra. That is very, very kind of you. Bo, thank you for the $5, who says, Okios Yogurt King. I know, bro. It's the best. 15 grams of protein. How could you go wrong? And then Connor, thank you for the $5 over on PayPal. Sammy, thank you so much for the $25. That is SAMI. Show some love to Sammy down below, who says, thank you for your important work from Germany. Thank you. Thank you so much for the love, Sammy. Show some love to Sammy, you guys. Show some love to Sammy. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate you. Massive W, Sammy, down below. Massive W, Sammy. Thank you. And then one super chat, Dark Pro Fox, thank you so much for the $10, who says, I've been seeing a lot of your content on Facebook, and I'm so glad I have, because ever since I stumbled across those clips, I've been doing my research and so glad to know the truth. Keep doing what you do. Fuck yes, Dark Pro. You know, I don't even have a Facebook. That's just a bunch of clippers reposting, so good for them. I'm really happy that that content reached you, and it has inspired positive change in your life. And then one more person to thank here. Andrew, thank you so much for the $10 over on Venmo for the headset fund. Let's go. Thank you so much for the love, Andrew. I appreciate you so much for the $10 towards the headset fund. LFGW Andrews in the chat. If you're watching and you want to support me, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal, and the link tree in my bio on TikTok, pin message on YouTube. The handle's also at the top of my phone screen. Oh, excuse me. Go ahead and take it away. Tell us why you support Trump while I take a moment here to blow my nose.
Yes. He's not perfect. Let's just start there. He has a lot of shortcomings, but I feel like in the global scale, um, he's doing a big part for countries that cannot defend
Oh, I'm gonna
themselves for
unplug my
their
mic.
oppressive
Whoops.
leaders.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. Yeah. So I feel like I think that he's kind of protecting people that cannot protect themselves from oppressive leaders in a global scale. That's a positive way that I think about him. With Venezuela, with
I have a question. What time
Iran,
is it?
it's 11:53,
Okay, what state are you in?
New Jersey.
What's the capital of New Jersey?
Um,
Okay. Let's go to move on to the next guest, guys. Only opposite of the queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. Only opposite of the queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. We're going to go to get that next guest loaded up into the box right now. Y'all, please do follow the rules of the stream. We got J. Cole connecting. Welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Dean, what is up, my guy?
What is going on? Do you
Yeah, I
support Trump?
do.
How old are you?
I'm 23.
Okay, give me one moment here. Jim, thank you so much for the $20 super chat over on YouTube for the new headphones. I appreciate you so much for that love, man. I will definitely be spending that $20 on a new pair. Hopefully we'll get that taken care of later. Thank you so much for that support. Let's get 200 Jim W's down below. I really appreciate you so much for supporting what we do here. Huge shout out to Jim. Huge shout out to Jim. And take it away, Jay. Why the hell do you support the worst president of your life, Mr. Trump?
All right. I'm not this huge MAGA person. I don't know all the details, all the nuance, so don't hit me with all the crazy stuff, man. All right. I do support what he's doing in Iran. I do support that he took men out of women's sports. Big deal. And the illegal immigrants should not be here.
Okay, there's a reason why 80% of Americans don't support what he's doing in Iran. Because every single time America gets involved with another country and kills their leader, that country is then left significantly worse off than it was before. And typically,
where did you get the 80% from?
I think that's from a Gallup poll.
Okay, sorry to interrupt you.
Okay, it's typically left off significantly worse than it is before we killed their leader. And civil war usually follows, and authoritarian takeovers usually follow. This happened in Iran, this happened in Iraq, this happened in Libya, this happened in Syria. Something like this happened in the Dominican Republic and many other countries as well. And in fact, we've even couped Iran's government before. We did that in '53. We then installed our own leader, and that actually led to a violent overthrow of the current regime. So definitely not something anybody who knows their history should ever support.
Okay. Well, I think I agree. Taking out their leader isn't just the answer. We've learned from the past about that, but that is why this is one of the biggest military operations. I don't want to say ever done. There's been bigger military operations, but one of the most strategic, taking out past, present, and future for the Iranian regime.
It's not strategic. It's not, dude. We bombed a girl's elementary school, killed over 100 kids.
Okay. See, I don't want you to bring that up because we don't have evidence that is 100% true a U.S. bomb.
Leadership role. I would say that we have more than enough evidence to find it to be the case.
But we don't have exact proof. It is all.
I would say that we do.
Well, okay, we can disagree on that. I haven't seen anything that clarifies exactly whose bomb that was or whose missile that was. I haven't seen anything.
The reason why
clarifies.
It's clear that it was an American missile is because that girl's elementary school was bombed simultaneously to the Supreme Leader's bunker when we killed him. And it wasn't until hours later that Iran responded. So it was clearly either an Israeli or an American missile.
Okay, well, if it was an American missile, that is it's very unfortunate. And
right, which kind of just shows how it's not too strategic of an operation, unless you want to say that they intentionally hit that elementary school.
Yeah, I don't. Like I said, I don't want to speak on that because I believe we don't have evidence that it was a U.S. bomb or Israeli bomb. I can't.
The evidence
They haven't came
that
out and clarified
the
that.
evidence is that the bombs hit simultaneously.
You are putting together. You are putting
leader.
together little. You are putting together Blue's Clues here and there,
No,
and coming
I'm
up
not.
with the
Who
assumption.
who else's missile would it be?
I have heard that it was like an S-300 missile built by Russia, launched by Iran, and it was faulty.
Okay, yeah, the faulty missile launch. So that's already been debunked. Because if there's actually a photo of that faulty missile, right? Have you seen that?
No, I have not.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so that's propaganda on the internet. And the claim is that, that missile was launched, it was faulty, then it fell and hit the elementary school. However, if you go to @geoconfirmed on Twitter, they debunk the whole thing with a whole thread. And they basically demonstrate that the picture of the misfired missile was over 1,300 kilometers away in the opposite direction from the girls' elementary school.
Okay.
Not to mention that was simultaneous to our original hits on the Supreme Leader's bunker. And the issue with that is that Iran didn't strike back until hours later. So if that was a misfired Iranian missile. Gee, I can't speak today. Sorry. I feel like the headset is fucking me up because I can only hear out of one ear. If that was a misfired Iranian missile, then we would have expected that to happen hours later, and it didn't, right? And then when you respond by telling me that it's just all like Blue's Clues, I barely have any evidence, I look like a crazy insane person, connecting the dots that don't connect on.
I didn't say crazy insane.
I'm being hyperbolic. Connecting the dots on the board with a red string with a overgrown beard because I haven't left the office room in like 5 days. The really big issue is that clearly we do have more than enough evidence because it just so happened to be the case.
Okay. I want to move on from
hit.
this because
as soon as I'm able to demonstrate that you're wrong, you want to move
on.
No.
I don't. You know more about the elementary school than I do. I haven't really looked into that. I saw one thing about it and moving on. So I do have a question for you though.
Okay, what is it?
Okay, who do you believe is more for women's rights, the Trump administration or the Iranian regime?
What? Well, I'm so sorry. Just where is this question coming from?
It's a question.
Well, is Iran's supreme leader a rapist? Probably. I'd say that they're both not for women's rights. But I definitely argue that women have more rights in America under Trump's administration than in Iran under that regime. But idealistically speaking, I'd probably say that, the two leaders are right there saying fuck women's rights. But, I don't really like this question, and I'll tell you why. Because imagine we take... No, shut up, I'm speaking. Shut up, I'm speaking. Thank you. I don't really like this question because let me tell you why. Was Jeffrey Dahmer a bad guy?
Yeah, I would agree. He's a bad guy.
Oh wait, why? Who is more for humanity, Jeffrey Dahmer or Adolf Hitler?
Let's see. That's. I would say that's a good.
No, who is more for humanity? Who did worse to humans, Adolf Hitler or Jeffrey Dahmer?
Well, I can't argue who did worse to humans.
Yes, wait, you can't argue? Probably the guy that's culpable for the genocide of 12 million people. Okay, but clearly, okay, that's like a crazy question to ask. Because although it is descriptively true that, sure, Adolf Hitler engaged in more human rights violations than Jeffrey Dahmer, this doesn't mean that Jeffrey Dahmer is a good person. But it attempts to kind of sort of position Jeffrey Dahmer in a positive light because the question being asked is a reflection of how he's better in comparison to somebody that's worse. So when it's you ask me this question, who's better for women's rights, Trump or the supreme leader of Iran? Sure, it's descriptively true that Trump is better for women's rights than the supreme leader of Iran. Okay, right? But this doesn't matter because it's kind of like one of those Jeffrey Dahmer or Adolf Hitler questions. They're both terrible for women's rights.
Okay, I agree. I have had some answers where they are strong on the Iranian regime. Okay, I was just making sure. Anyway, do you feel that men should be allowed in women's sports or people who were born male and have transitioned to female, should they be allowed in women's sports?
Trans women aren't women. But talking about men in private women's only spaces, not trans women, but men, Can I ask you a question about this? Because you asked me a question. I want to. Is it my turn?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Perfect. All right. So you don't like men in private women's only spaces, correct?
You don't say that again.
You don't like men in private women's only spaces, right?
And you're about to bring up Trump and what he did in the peeping
Oh,
Tom.
wait, you already know that Donald Trump is guilty of sexual exploitation by barging into private women and girls only spaces to then look at the naked bodies of the people inside and you support him as president?
Came into this
You're such a
live.
fucking hypocrite if you're going to sit here and tell me that you want him to be president so then he could kick 16 trans women outside of the NCAA at the sake of the rest of the country with the downfall, demise, and destruction of our economy, the erosion of our social and moral values, okay, and the protection of rapists, pedophiles, and co-conspirators of Epstein that amount to a larger group of people than 16, which would be representative of the trans women in the NCAA, by refusing to release the Epstein files, defying Congress, breaking federal law by making illegal redactions. I don't know, that's kind of hypocritical, man. I use the next question. Could you ever support a trans woman who's went into women's restrooms, played in women's sports as president?
Before you ask me the next question, which I didn't hear, I was kind of talking over you. I was talking about men and women's sports more as the athletic performance, as the outcome, not these transition people going in there and looking at these female. I'm talking about the athletic performance. Do you believe?
Yeah, I don't think I even need to answer the question because I don't think that a conversation surrounding 16 trans people should be relevant to federal politics. And the fact that it has been made relevant as a deflection away from all the shortcomings of the Trump administration is fucking sad. It really is. It really is. You use 16 people to justify your war on 157 million American citizens in the low and middle class whose purchasing power is now destroyed because of the big, beautiful bill. You use 16 trans people to justify like the literal war in Iran that we just talked about. You use 16 people, trans people, to justify, the 34 felonies that Donald Trump has, or the 40 credible accusations of rape that Donald Trump has, and about a billion other things too, right? I just don't think that the question is relevant to federal politics. I don't think it is at all, and I think that we as a country need to remember that, and we're focusing on like the wrong 1% here instead of focusing on the 1%, the ruling class, the elite. Okay, we're instead focusing on the 1% of trans Americans that don't harm, hurt, or affect you in any way. Now, you did answer my question. You know about Donald Trump sexually exploiting women and girls in the locker rooms at Miss Teen USA and Miss USA. So would you ever support somebody who has sexually exploited naked women and girls as president?
Absolutely not. But I'm not saying I'm this big MAGA person. I'm saying I support certain things.
So I just want to clarify. So you're not a Trump supporter?
I support certain things that he did.
But overall, you don't support his presidency because he has sexually exploited naked women.
Overall, I have never voted in this country.
Okay, so overall, you don't support the Trump administration.
Like I said, bro. I'm.
Sounds like a no. Let's go to get that next guest loaded up into the box right now, guys. Only up inside of the key of your MAGA. Thank you. Hey, dude. I know who you are. Let's see here. I don't know if I want to refer to you by your name because I don't know if that's private or anything. Anonymous, thank you so much for the $15 over on Venmo. I really appreciate you so much for that love. Anonymous says, from Little Einstein, gas money fund for Parker. If you happen to know who that is, that's Little Einstein's mom who just sent that through. Little Einstein is the name of a TikTok account for a younger child who is just really, really, really intelligent, really skilled in so many different ways, and has connected a very large following, over their like very uniquely awesome abilities. So shout out to you. I've been following you for a while. Thank you so much for the $15. Yeah, I gotta give that to Parker. I do, for running me around later. Amanda, thank you for the $10 on Venmo, who says, dude, my mother-in-law just tried to justify the bombing of the kids at school in Iran. Man, we had a middle-aged dude do that yesterday. He joined up and he was straight up telling us that even if it was his kids, he still thinks that America would have been justified. It's insane. Thank you for the $10. Sonny, thank you for the $10 on Venmo for the headset fund. You should definitely get one of the cute pink ones with the cat ears. No chance, bro. Thank you so much for that love, Sunny. Show some love to Sunny down below. And then one more here. Phoebe, thank you so much for the $10 as well in Venmo. Says, hey, Dean, I'm voting for James Tallarico in the Texas primary today. Really looking forward to turning Texas blue in the midterms in November. Safe travels. I'm so excited to see if the Democrats can win. That would be so fucking cool, dude. That'd be so cool, man. And then one more over on PayPal, Ella. Thank you so much for the $7.77. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. And then one super chat from Luna. Thank you so much for the 12 euros, who says ridiculous lies. If the U.S. only reacted, they'd have invoked Article 5 of the NATO treaty. Sad MAGA choose World War III over a woman as president. Greetings from Germany. Well, shout out to you, Luna. I do want to clarify, I don't think that it's World War III yet. But Luna, it is good to see you again today. Thank you for the 12 euros. If you're watching the stream and you want to support me and what we do here, you could find my Venmo, my PayPal, and the link tree, my bio on TikTok, pin message over on YouTube, over on that YouTube stream, and the handle's also at the top of the phone screen. There is one singular Trump supporter spamming reported in the chat on TikTok. It sounds like they're very mad that I'm disputing the MAGA worldview. Welcome in, Journey. Do you support Trump?
Let me start off by saying it is an honor to be able to sit here and talk with you.
I'm sorry, Journey. I really appreciate you so much for coming up, dude. And I wish I could have had a good conversation with you. Just unfortunately, you are driving, so I do have to move on. You take care, all right? You do take care. Also, guys, I don't know what it is. Maybe my audience just isn't really used to these morning streams. But we have like
a nigger behind closed doors.
We have, I heard him say the N-word, so he's banned. But anyways, back to what I was saying. I'm not even sure quite what he said. I just heard him say the N-word. By the way, guys, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like it's really hard for me to understand precisely what the guests are saying because my headphones, like I said, I only have one ear working, which is really sad. But that's how the stream is gonna be for the day. But anyways, back to what I was saying. Honestly, I forgot at this point, so we're just going to move on. I just heard the N-word, and it really threw my train of thought off. Welcome into Sport Trump.
Dean, you have a very cute nose.
Okay, that's, okay, we're going to move on to the next guest. How do you support Trump?
I do.
How old are you?
23.
Okay. So why do you support Trump?
I don't like the left's policy on transgenders and the push of transgenders and normalization of that.
Okay. So because some people on the left think that trans women is women, that was not grammatically correct. Let me restart. Because some people on the left think that trans women are women, sorry guys, I'm tired. You support a wannabe dictator as president.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so I don't support the left. Yeah, 100%. So let me ask you something.
I feel like Gary. Let me finish speaking here. I feel like this is like the issue. Like it's like Donald Trump. I mean, he's passed some policy to restrict trans people from being in the military, prevent them from playing inside of the NCAA in like some circumstances. I think that applied to maybe 10 or 16 people. But I mean, everything else is just kind of like a social virtue signal, if that makes any sense. He just kind of says that trans women aren't women. And I really just hate to see the priorities of American voters so out of line, so out of whack. It's like you will take like material harm to the middle class, material harm to the low class, material harm to women and girls, material harm to immigrants, marginalized communities, material harm to the economy as a whole, material harm to our allyships, material harm to other countries as, you know, a result of war, what we've seen in Iran. Material harm and erosion of our checks and balances, constitution, so on and so forth. All of it means that that president is willing to virtue signal and say that he doesn't think that trans women are women. I think that your brain just needs to rest and reset, and you need to go back to school and reconsider your foundational values. Because what it seems like to me is that you don't really value humanity, you don't really value the flourishment of humanity, you don't really value the country, you don't really value the flourishment of our country, and I think that our four founders would just be so disappointed in you to hear you say, I'm willing just to throw the Constitution out the window because the person who is doing the throwing of the Constitution out the window at least says that trans women aren't women.
So let me ask you a question. When people bring up the transgender thing and like, you know, men and women's bathroom, stuff like that, you always resort to bring up the Donald Trump going inside the beauty passion thing. So let me ask you a question here then. So you seem like you're okay with that, Trump doing that, because you're okay with men being in women's bathrooms, correct? So it seems like you're the one who supports that the most, not not us, right?
So I
don't
think
support
that
that.
there's, I think that there's an arguable difference between trans women taking a piss and a cis man sexually exploiting minors, but I'll have that discussion with you as soon as you could respond to the first comments I shot at you that you've just kind of ignored.
Yeah, it was a bunch of nonsense.
So what specifically did I say that was nonsense? If you could quote me and explain why it's nonsense, I'd really appreciate it. Oh wait, you can't do that. He left. I'm gonna start asking that question more. I'm gonna start asking that question more. Yeah, if you could please quote me word for word and explain how it's nonsense, I'd really appreciate it. Now that's gonna be the new line. That's gonna be the new line. Let's go to move on to the next guest, guys. We're gonna go to get that next guest loaded up into the box right now, folks. On the opposite of the cue, if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. And Santana, I just saw your message. Yes, we were just talking about that. Let's go to get that next guest loaded up in here right now, y'all. On the opposite of the cue of your MAGA, please and thank you. On the opposite of the cue of your MAGA, please and thank you. Welcome on. Oh, they're gone. We're going to move on to the next guest right now, y'all. By the way, I think that hopefully maybe me and Parker should be doing some battles later tonight. You might see some battles coming your way. That should be pretty fun. We got the next guest investing with Ryan loading up into the live stream. Hey, Nia, that is N-Y-A. Nia. I'm probably mispronouncing your name, so I'm just going to call you N. Thank you so much for the $20 over on Super Chat. Says, Dean, thank you for all that you do. Now is the time of monsters, but you give me a glimmer of hope. Well, thank you so much for the love. You know, I do try my best here to change the minds of the people, because that's what matters. You know, because at the end of the day, the people do control the governance of this country. I appreciate you so much for the $20 in. As well as over on Venmo, Jawan, thank you so much for the $20 as well. On Venmo, he says, thank you, Dean. I appreciate you so much for that love, Jawan. Well, thank you so much for the support. Let's get 200 Jawan W's down below in that comment section. I really appreciate you so much for that love. Thank you. Welcome in Investing with Ryan. Do you support Trump?
Yes.
Audio?
19.
What year were you born in?
2006.
Okay. Why do you support Trump?
Well, I just wanted to touch back on what were you saying a little earlier about the trans people in athletics, and you said that you can't, if I'm not mistaken, you said that you can't just like cite that there were only 16 trans athletes and then like kind of use that as a deflection. Is that like what you said about that?
So what I said is that I think that there's something wrong with your foundational or core values if the condemnation of 16 trans athletes is worth it at the expense of the destruction and downfall of this country. Like, I just don't even think that a debate about should trans women be able to play in the NCAA or not is warranted in a conversation about is Trump a good president in the slightest, right? Like,
Okay.
I mean, that's my view, man. I've been repeating this now all stream long. And here's my thoughts. I think that you and a lot of other Trump supporters know that Trump is indefensible. Okay? He's a shitty, fucking, terrible ass president. Economy's in ruin. Okay? Allyships are in ruin. I mean, he's breaking his promises. He said no new wars, and now we're back at war in the Middle East. All right? The people's morale is low. I mean, our immigration policy is fucking insane. He's just a mask-off authoritarian deporting people with no due process to be tortured in another country. I mean, he's even been defending the murder of citizens on the streets of this country and about a billion other things. I mean, we go over this all day long. But it's like, you don't really care about the outcomes of the Trump administration on the country. You don't really care if they're good or bad, if he's effective or not. You just support Trump because you're a cult member, that's it. And now this like trans topic is being used as like the final talking point, if that makes any sense. And I just think it's pathetic. Like, oh, I support Trump because he doesn't like 16 trans people in the NCAA. Therefore, I don't care about the over 1 million illegal redactions of his name in the Epstein files, breaking federal law and defying Congress. It's just, I don't know, it's insufferable if you want me to be honest. And it also makes me a little bit upset because then trans people are like catching the brunt end of this bullshit. It's like, we know that you don't care about women or girls, or else you wouldn't have supported Trump at all from the get-go. You wouldn't have voted for him in the election, that's clear. Duh, court determined he raped a woman. So it's like just such a virtue signal for you to act like you do care about women and girls, and then misrepresent the facts as it would relate to trans women playing in women's sports. It's just kind of lousy. It's very pathetic, and it makes me upset.
Yeah. So, but I was just wondering, like, relating to ICE, because I know that's like a big topic now. Like, can you technically use this? I know you don't support ICE, but like, could you technically use the same logic with like the 16 people to the ICE killings? Because like, personally, when I'm looking at the ICE, like what ICE is doing, I really don't like the killings. Obviously, I think those are awful, but like, I do kind of support like the main idea of what ICE is like kicking out the illegal immigrants. So like, could you use that same logic of like, oh, there's only 16 people, or like in ICE's case, like, oh, there's only 32 killings out of like how many people they're actually deporting? Could that logic be used to support ICE? Because like, in reality, what ICE is doing, I think, is like beneficial, because I don't think you should have
I think that
illegal
you
immigrants
lost the
free
debate
roaming.
the moment you compared a trans woman playing a sport to an agent of the state murdering a citizen and then being defended by the president of the country.
No, yes, I get that. That's not exactly the same, but like, you
Right.
can kind of get that logic, how like that's such a small percent, and that type of stuff happened with Obama too, and there was really nobody,
No, it
batting an
didn't.
eye.
1 second. No, it didn't. It didn't happen. There's not a
Obama
single
killed nobody
circumstance-
with ICE.
There's not a single circumstance of an ICE agent murdering somebody and then Obama coming out calling the victim of murder a domestic terrorist. Arguing that an
Yes,
ICE agent
not
should have
that.
total and absolute immunity.
But
and
did
that
he
ICE agent
never?
is a patriot.
Nobody ever died under Obama's ICE, because I know
According
he
to
deported
human-
a lot more people.
According to Human Rights Watches, during his 8-year term, there's around 54 people that died in ICE custody,
Okay.
and around 4 to 8 of those people died from a determination of medical misconduct or neglect from ICE. And we'd condemn those. We'd say that's very bad. But still, yet the difference between that and what we see happening under Trump is that when it does happen under Trump, it's not people just dying in their custody due to misconduct. Okay, it's people being shot in the back fucking 12 times and labeled as a domestic terrorist. by the
Yeah, that's
president.
bad.
Right?
Wait, so do you
there's clearly a
support?
difference here.
Do you support ICE under Obama, where he was, deporting all these people?
I think it's significantly better than ICE under Trump today.
So you,
But
in
overall,
general,
well, can you
support the
please allow
idea of
me to
deporting
finish
illegal
speaking?
immigrants?
Well, I'd be able
Oh,
to
sorry.
answer that question if you let me say more than
Yes,
4
yes,
words. So I think ICE was significantly preferable under Obama compared to Trump today. However, my thoughts on immigration policy do lean a little bit further left than the Democratic Party. And in general, I don't support the mass deportation of undocumented immigrants.
Okay, so you generally don't support ICE under Obama.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Okay, so you're not.
But he also did a lot of good. Like, I think that Obama surprisingly got us a lot closer to where we should be with the creation of work programs for undocumented immigrants, with the creation of DACA, with the disproportionate focus on undocumented immigrants with prior violent offenses on their records. Like, yeah, sure. Like, I don't overall agree with the operation because it did include a lot of undocumented immigrants with no criminal offenses on their records. And there wasn't like a massive push and focus to ensure that our border entry policy was up to par. But like a night and day compared to Trump, okay? It was 10 times better. I wish that we had Obama's immigration policy today.
Oh, okay. And then the last thing I just wanted to ask you about was Iran, because I'm seeing a lot of stuff about that too. And like, do you support, like, again, the idea, again, I realize that Trump is not like a good guy or anything, and what he's doing is probably wrong, but do you support the idea of what they're trying to do is and the same thing in Venezuela too, I'd like to hear your thoughts about that, is like the idea of like freeing these people who are under like really, really poor regimes.
I don't think that's the idea.
You don't think that's the idea of what they're trying to do? Maybe they aren't executing it perfectly, but
Yeah, I don't think that's what they're trying to do now.
what do you
I
think they're trying to do?
I don't know. Distract from the Epstein files.
Really?
Extract money and resources.
You really don't think and they don't have some goal of trying to free the people from like the
Yeah.
terrorist regime that they?
I really don't. If their focus was on people being freer, then I don't think they'd take healthcare away from 10 million low-income Americans when we already have 51,000 die every single year via lack of access to healthcare, or ensure that rape victims in 10 of our 50 states can't get an abortion if they were impregnated after getting raped. It's just money, power, oil, and distraction.
But the people in Iran and even Venezuela are still happy, right? Like I see all this stuff, like how it's like awful for these people. But I mean, even if they're going for the oil, these people are still going to be like more free than they were because they had like literal dictatorships, and it's not a dictatorship anymore. Unless I'm wrong.
Okay, well, I mean, you are wrong. Let's talk about that. So, I mean, at least now we've kind of like changed the topic of conversation away from what is the Trump administration trying to do to what may be a secondary outcome. So you said that they don't have a dictatorship anymore. If Trump died tomorrow, would Republicans still be in power?
Wouldn't the vice president become in power?
Yeah, Republicans would still be in power, right?
Yeah.
Right. Same way in Iran. Sure, their supreme leader died. Now they have a new supreme leader. I mean, the regime is still in power. They've been in power since 1973. You think that the power of their regime hinged on one 85-year-old who is already on his way out that they've likely been planning for his death for years? Right? You know, think about it. Not to mention, every time that we've intervened historically, even with Iran or other neighboring countries in the Middle East, like Afghanistan or Iraq, we kill the bad leader. It creates a power vacuum that leads to civil war, that leads to authoritarian takeover every time.
But wouldn't America continue to fight Iran until like the supreme leaders aren't in power anymore and there's really no one left?
Bro, we did that in Afghanistan for 20 years.
So you think it'll take that long?
Right. We did that in Afghanistan for 20 years. And then even when we pulled out of Afghanistan, the Taliban took over. It's like, I understand what you're saying, right? Like, what if we stay there until there couldn't possibly be a power vacuum that leads to the overthrow of an authoritarian regime? We tried that for 20 years. We stayed in Afghanistan for 20 years. And we still had the overthrow of an authoritarian regime the moment we left.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, thank you.
Of course. Yeah, no, listen, I'm not going to sit here and fault you because on the surface level, dictator dead, yippee. It's just one of those situations where it's like so important to learn about the history, you know? That's why I really enjoyed these conversations about Iran, because it's just so important to learn about the history. It's so important to discuss what happened, what has happened in the past when we've done this or something like this before. So I appreciate you for the question.
Yep, thank you.
All right, you take care. Let's go to move on to the next guest. You know, right? It's good to be curious. It's especially good to learn about that topic because I get it. If you don't know the history, if you don't know these things, if you're not educated on these things, it seems like it could be a good thing. Okay? And this is actually like one of those generational differences, especially between like younger Gen Z and millennials. It's like the reason why like it is damn near impossible to find a millennial that supports this, but there's a bunch of like Gen Z Americans running around saying this is good, is because the millennials were alive to witness what happened in the Middle East, following our invasion under Bush and, kind of what has happened over the course of the last 25 years. So, we've seen it before. I mean, I guess they've seen it before. What the hell am I saying? I'm 21. Let's go to move on to the next guest, guys. Only hop inside of the queue if you're MAGA. If you do want to support me, if you want to support the stream, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal, and the link tree in my bio on my TikTok account. Pin message over on YouTube. And the handle's also at the top of the phone screen on TikTok. For all the new friends joining over on TikTok, welcome in. We finally broke 10,000 viewers. Welcome in, guys. Hello, hello, hello. I guess this stream is taking a little bit longer to push out today than most days. I don't know. Welcome in. Do you support Trump, Caleb?
I'm an independent party and I don't know where to swing right now.
Okay. Watch this stream, Caleb. Hell yes. I think that the big value in my live stream for people like you who don't know where to swing, is watching the stream. So I really appreciate you so much for being here, man.
Hello.
This is the perfect stream for you, my friend. Huge shout out to you. So, Daniel, are you a Trump supporter?
Yeah.
Okay. Chat, is there too much background noise? Like I said, my headset's broken, so I can't really tell. Is there too much background noise, or is it like good? Give it one moment here. No? Okay. Is there any way that you could go into a room that's a little bit more quiet? I do hear like a little bit.
Yo, Dean, you give me a boner, by the way.
Why can I still hear him? Why can I still hear him? Oh my god. Oh my god, dude. Why can I still hear him? I kicked him like 30 seconds ago. Jesus Christ, man. Get the fuck out of here. Moving on to the next guest, dude. Only hop inside of that queue if you're MAGA. What the? Welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Dean. I'm on Dean's live. Hey, Dean, I just wanted to tell you that I do really admire you and Parker, actually. I am a conservative, though, and I did vote for Trump twice. But I've been watching you and Parker for a long time, since before you even started really blowing up, actually. And so when you started blowing up and doing all the jubilees and all that stuff, I was really proud of you guys.
Well, that's surprisingly kind of you. So when you said, hey, Dean, Can I tell you what I thought you were going to say?
You would tell, yeah. Go ahead.
A combination of slurs. Can I tell you
No.
why?
Because of my Nick Fuentes thing?
Yes. You sound like you haven't completely lost your mind. You shouldn't support somebody like Nick Fuentes. He thinks that pedophilia is cool.
Yeah, Nick Fuentes. You know, it's funny because I put this on kind of as a troll. My buddy kind of turned me on to Nick Fuentes, and I listened to him. I think he's a little bit out there. No, I'm a registered independent, so I have a really open mind. And I had told one of my conservative friends that Biden actually did some really good things under his term. I don't agree with a lot of the immigration that happened under Biden, but the economy was actually not bad. The stock market was really good because my stocks were really high. And I tried to explain that to one of my conservative friends, and he wasn't having any of it. And I was like, dude, you gotta open your mind a little bit.
Dude,
buddy.
okay. So I would assume that you don't watch Nick much.
No, I don't actually.
Right. Okay. Well, let me help explain this to you.
To be honest, I actually watch you and Parker a lot.
Dude, awesome. Love it. Let me explain this to you. There are like some clips of Nick on the internet where he makes sense. I'm not going to act like there aren't. Listen to Nick talk about some things to do with Israel. Not all things to do with Israel, since his views primarily rooted within anti-Semitism. Listen to some things that Nick has to say about Israel. Listen to some things that Nick has to say about the Trump administration, about J.D. Vance, about corporatism in America. All right? Every so often you'll see a clip and you're like, hey, what he's saying actually makes sense here. And I feel like those clips have kind of like breached into the mainstream, and that's maybe what you've seen that has led you to say, hey, I kind of like Nick. But in all reality, that's not truly who he is. Okay, if you actually watch his stream on Rumble, what you'll hear is that he thinks that Epstein was cool. Epstein wasn't a pedophile. The real issue wasn't child rape. You'll hear that he like literally loves Adolf Hitler, like not even joking, actually loves Adolf Hitler, is a Nazi, so on and so forth. So, like, clearly I think that he's an indefensible person who nobody should support whatsoever.
Yeah, no, the picture is just more of a troll, and I like I said, I probably watch you and Parker, to be honest, with a lot of your older debates, especially versus Charlie and Ben Shapiro and even Andrew. And Andrew Wilson, actually, to be honest, some of his comments towards you guys in your guys' debates are super off the wall as well.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to be on your live, Dean, just for a second. And I just wanted to give you some praise. I do lean more towards conservative values. And I know that the Democrat Party does have some conservative values when it comes to the family, when it comes to certain social issues, and especially when it comes to the economy. I think that there might even be better policies put in by the Democratic Party when it comes to the economy.
Okay, well, man, I appreciate you for coming up. I appreciate you for being kind. We're going to move on to the next guest just so we can do some debates. Thank you so much, bro.
Hell yeah. Thank you, Dean. Peace.
What a, I don't think I've ever encountered a conservative like that, you know, kind of like gave some flowers to the Democrats, rather like kind to me, but had Nick Fuentes as his PFP. I don't think I've ever seen that combination of like characteristics before. Very interesting. Well, there goes the anxiety pen. Welcome into Sport Trump.
Yo, wait, can you hear me on this thing?
Yeah, do you support Trump?
Yeah, I do.
All right, man, give me one moment. For everybody watching, make sure that we're double tapping on that phone screen over on TikTok, sharing out that live. You already know it. I am going to quickly thank a couple people, and then let's hop into things. Hey, Tanya, thank you so much for the $25 donation over on Venmo. Tanya, that is very, very kind of you. Show some love to Tanya down below. Tanya with a 25 says, Dean, I sent that request by accident, so sorry. No worries, I didn't even see it, Tanya. Thank you for all the education. My husband and I fucking love you. Fuck the orange guy. Well, shout out to you and your husband. Thank you so much for the $25. I really appreciate you so much for your, that kindness. Show some love to Tanya down below. And then Faye, thank you for the $5. Elizabeth, thank you for the $5. We're all caught up over there. Quickly over on PayPal, thank you so much for the $50, Michelle. Thank you. You are awesome. Let's get it 500 Michelle W's down below in that comment section. Thank you. Michelle with the 50 says, first time donating. I love listening to you, Parker and Santana. You guys provide valuable information, something for you and your trip. Stay safe. Having a hard time sending via Venmo, LOL. Well, Michelle, thank you so much for the kindness. I really appreciate your kind words. Thank you so much for the support. And the trip will be fun. It'll be nice. I'm excited. I'm really excited to go eat some oysters. Fun fact about me, I love oysters, but I live in Grand Junction, Colorado. You can't get oysters here. So that is like the very first thing I'm going to do once I get to where I'm staying out in LA. Super excited for that. Thank you for the love, Michelle. Let's get 500 Michelle W's. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to spend that $50 on a platter of oysters. So shout out to you. Casey and Betty, thank you for the $5. Then Martin and Juan, appreciate you for the $5 as well. Thank you guys so much. If you want to support me, you can find all the pay links in the link tree in my bio. Ben message on YouTube. Handles also at the top of the phone screen on TikTok. Take it away. Tell us how the hell you still support Trump.
Oh, I take it away?
Yeah.
Oh, basically, mainly because I just didn't like the running mate. I thought that it was a little crazy how she got thrown into it. And I didn't like the interviews that she gave going into it. And then normally I catch you on my afternoon walk. I was surprised to catch you in the morning right now.
Yeah, I'm on super early because I'm hopping on a plane. Okay, so Trump good because Kamala Harris gave bad interviews. Okay, if we want to talk about interviews, I think that we should talk about Trump giving interviews about how if Jesus were to have counted the votes in California, then he would have won the state, or how coal.
Yeah, and I don't agree with that.
You know, windmills cause cancer.
I don't agree with that either.
So what if Kamala Harris said in interviews it's just like clearly worse, that makes you support Trump?
I believe that she just didn't give enough. I believe going into it, I didn't feel that I understood that her policies were strong enough to think that I believed that she had the back to lead the country in the right direction that it needed to be.
I actually agree. In 120 days, I don't really think that you could do as much as you should do.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Primarily, I think that that's Biden's fault, not hers, because Biden's the one that decided to drop out late. But
I agree as
simultaneously
well.
here, some of that burden does fall on you, because if you went to KamalaHarris.org at any point before the election, you'd be able to read through all of her policies.
Right, read through and her describing them, I believe are completely different. Wow. I needed to hear it from her to describe it to the people in a way that she didn't be able to describe it.
Describing it to the people.
It's through words and through text. I believe anybody can make words and text.
Okay, but this is just like a small point. You're saying because she typed out all of her policies, but she didn't verbally talk about all of her policies.
Do you believe that it was just her?
1 moment, I'm speaking. Which I don't even know if that's true. Like, you know, I'm definitely sure that, you know, she probably talked about every policy she ran at one point or another. This like the first question at the debate, I think that she actually went through all of her policies. Which was her saying it out loud. And not, but you're saying that this somehow makes her better than the guy who looked at an eclipse with his bare eyes twice, said that we should nuke hurricanes, said that we should look at disinfectant by injection to fight COVID-19, was held civilly liable by a court for raping a woman, and then said that woman should be thrown in jail, said that it was funny when he sexually exploited naked women and girls, asked our military to draft a plan for an invasion of one of our allies, started war in the Middle East, and then claimed that we didn't start the war in the Middle East, said that Tylenol causes autism, then walked it back on top of passing some of the worst policy we've seen in modern American history that has destroyed the working class, and it's now left us with the worst jobs report since 03 of rigged recessions. Okay, on top of the division and death caused by ICE, with citizens being murdered in the street and then having their murder defended by him, calling the murdered citizen domestic terrorists, on top of illegally deporting undocumented immigrants in violation of their 5th and 14th Amendment rights to due process to a place in El Salvador where they're getting beat, right? This like point of, well, I didn't hear her talk about all of her policies. Sure, I saw them written down, but saying them out loud is different. It's just such like a minute point. Like, I feel like there has to be something else here that you're just not sharing with us. So, do we want to get on to the bone here, or can we please get on?
That was just the reason. Yeah, you talk really fast, and that was really good. You talked about those points all day long. I believe that was the reason that he got my vote originally, though. And
okay. Is this why you support him today? Because, like, I mean, I feel like I've like clearly disputed why he shouldn't have gotten your vote. I feel like it just kind of reduces down to you being like a low info voter. But like, is this still what you support him today?
Low info voter.
Yeah, like, why do you support him today?
Why do I support him today? Because I believe that he is strong and putting the country in the right direction. Okay. I believe that I believe that ICE wouldn't have had to. Also, this is the worst ICE that we've ever seen. I agree with that, and how they're handling situations is not correct. I believe that comes down to training. I don't believe that Donald Trump is personally in charge of training all of these new ICE agents.
He actually had the Department of Homeland Security reduce their training to 47 days to represent him being the 47th president.
yes. I also do not agree that he is in charge of the protocol and the one standing in front of those people training them.
Well,
And
he
he's
actually
not the
kind
one
of is, because he
reacting to those
permisses them to do
situations.
more bad things, because when they do bad things, he says it's acceptable. That's the issue.
You know, I also believe that the presidential before should not have opened the borders enough to where
Wait,
these
we're
people
spotting my
could have
point
come
there. You
in.
said that you don't believe that he's personally culpable. He's culpable. The DHS is culpable. No, culpable.
Say that one more time.
Culpable? I mean, like responsible? You said that you don't
there
personally
you
believe
go.
that he's responsible for like ICE misconduct. Okay, I believe that he's responsible. I believe that Kristi Noem is responsible. I believe that DHS is responsible. Now, there's ways that he's like directly responsible. Okay, right? Like this would relate to like ensuring that they're only trained for 47 days, or ensuring that the department as a whole was giving like regulatory guidelines to the ICE agents to infringe on the constitutional rights of people. Okay, we know that. Like DHS is literally telling ICE agents to make arrests with no warrants, barge into people's houses with no warrants. That's unconstitutional. That's what he's directly responsible for. But now what he's like indirectly responsible for is promoting the environment in which permits ICE agents to engage in like pervasively immoral and illegal actions, like the murder of citizens, okay, like the illegal deportations and detentions of people predicated on the color of their skin or the accent in which they speak English in. Because after these things have happened, he's defended it. Like after we illegally deported Abrigo Garcia to CCOT, and then SCOTUS ruled it was unconstitutional, Trump turned around and said that, you know, he's never coming home, we defend it. After he deported over 300 Venezuelans to El Salvador with no due process, and a judge ruled, hey, that's illegal, you got to bring them back, he said, no, we're not turning the planes around, he defended it. I mean, after we heard about ICE agents ripping naked children out of their beds in Chicago, and then throwing them in the backs of U-Haul vans, and then he was asked by a news reporter on the subject matter, he didn't say that's bad, we need to do something about this, he defended it. So do you now understand how, from my perspective, he shares both direct and indirect responsibility, regardless if that is like propagating an environment where ICE agents are directly being given illegal orders, okay, or an environment in which ICE agents are permitted to do very bad or illegal things.
I hear your points and I understand your points. Yes. I have to say that I agree with the foundation of ICE. I believe that we should have strong borders.
Okay, so please, but before we talk about you thinking that we should have strong borders, I either want you to give a counter argument or concede, because you were arguing the notion that he's not responsible for the ICE misconduct, but I gave you an argument to demonstrate that he is. So could you please respond to that? Do you concede? Do you agree that he is responsible, that he shares that responsibility, or do you still argue?
I believe that he shares that responsibility. Yes, as the president, I believe that he shares that responsibility, and I condemn all murders on the street. For everybody.
So just to clarify, like you are conceding the point given my counter argument?
Yeah, from what you've said, yeah, I'll concede to what you're saying. I do think that he is at some responsibility for what's going on the street. I don't believe he is held solely responsible for what's going on, though.
Of course, he's not solely responsible. That's why he's not just the only issue, and his whole administration is the issue. Oh, by the way, for everybody spamming W Trump in the TikTok comment section, I appreciate y'all. Thank you for helping the stream send out more. But I do know that there's not a single one of y'all that would join the queue to debate me because you're all very scared. Perfect. So now that you agree that he's literally responsible for citizens being murdered, how could you still support his administration?
Not because he's not solely responsible. I believe that the person responsible
he shares that responsibility with the rest of his administration and the ICE agent. And then
and
also, I mean,
the
the real zinger here would be him defending it afterwards. He is solely responsible for his defense of that murder, right?
Yes, he is responsible for his defense of that murder.
Okay.
I also can
I don't
say
think that people
I
should
don't-
be president if they literally defend the murder of the constituents in which they are supposed to be representing.
I believe that a lot has happened, not only in this term, but a lot of other terms that is undefensible by our presidents, and it's just part of the system that we're living today.
Okay, what did Biden do domestically that was indefensible?
I don't want to get into that.
Just name one thing, please.
No, I don't want to get into that.
Okay, so I'm going to name 5 things that Trump has done that's indefensible. He defended the murder of citizens. That's indefensible. He called for the execution of Democrats in Congress. That's indefensible. He asked the military to draft a plan of invasion of Greenland. That's indefensible. He raped E. Jean Carroll, was held civilly liable for it, then said that she should be thrown in court. That's indefensible. He illegally hid files accusing him of child rape. That's indefensible. Dude, I just named 5 like it was
I
fucking
believe
nothing.
that I believe that if they had something on him, they had him in jail, they had him under custody, they had him in in the courts, and if they had something on him, that he would have been held responsible for those things.
Well, that actually, it's funny because we do have something on him. We've already had it released, a lot of it. There's still more to go, obviously. But the fact that the Biden-Harris administration never dipped their toe into the DOJ to force the release of only the files that make Trump look bad demonstrates that they didn't weaponize the DOJ against him. Think about it. Okay, in the last year, we have had files released.
Wait, one more time. Can you say that one more time? You said it too fast. I couldn't quite pick up what you were saying.
The Biden-Harris administration did not weaponize the Department of Justice against Trump, and the Epstein files prove it.
Okay. How do you say that?
Okay, this argument is not going to be based upon speculation, even if it is reasonable and based on evidence of what is still in the files, yet redacted. This argument will only be based on what has already been publicly released.
Okay.
There's been files publicly released in the last year, like the birthday letter he sent to Epstein in 2003 depicting the naked body of a girl with the statement, "May every new
So
day
did Bill
be another-"
Clinton. So did Bill Clinton.
I don't know why you're bringing Bill Clinton up. I would happily talk to you about Bill Clinton in a separate conversation, but right now I'm attempting to make an argument that the Biden-Harris administration did not weaponize the DOJ against Trump, and you're interrupting that with a mention of Bill Clinton's name. So can I finish?
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So in the last year, we've had Donald Trump's birthday letter publicly released that he sent to Epstein in 2003 depicting the naked body of a girl with the statement, "May every new day be another wonderful secret." We've also had Jeffrey Epstein's letter that he sent to Larry Nassar saying that Donald Trump shares their affiliation for young nubile, which means sexually attractive girls. Okay? We've also had the 8 accusations released, including 2 very credible accusations documented in FBI 302 forms, including from victims of Epstein's that we know Epstein raped. One moment. Oh, I really need to sneeze, but it's not coming out. That sucks. Now, my point here is, and this is going to be hard to make simultaneously while I really need to sneeze, is that the Biden-Harris administration, if they were to be weaponizing the DOJ, would have selectively released these files and these files only, and they likely would have either lost Trump the election or significantly reduced the likelihood that he won the election. And the fact that they didn't selectively release these files proves that they did not weaponize the DOJ against Trump.
I never said that they weaponized the DOJ against Trump.
Yes, you did. You made that suggestion when you said they put him in jail, they got him on these felonies. If there's anything in the files, they would have arrested him on it.
They would have. I believe that if they could have arrested him for anything, that they would have arrested him for anything.
I don't believe you
that's
because
why
of the other
he got
people that are
killed
also
after that.
mentioned in the files. Okay, like for instance, I saw this on Twitter a while back. Trigger warning to the viewers. This one is kind of terrible. The picture was redacted, but the explanation of what was in the picture wasn't. There's a picture of a naked, bloodied up 12-year-old being held by 5 men, with one of the men having his fingers inserted into their female member. Okay? None of those 5 men have been arrested because the only 2 people that have been arrested in association with Epstein was Epstein himself and Ghislaine Maxwell. We have emails where Mark Epstein's brother is like, "Hey, is this an OBGYN where you took your victims?" He was a co-conspirator, hasn't been arrested. We have other emails from this woman, I forget her name, telling Epstein that she enjoyed his littlest girl. She's still roaming free in the streets. Prince Andrew, I think that process is finally kicked off over in the UK. Or this other guy that sent Epstein an email saying that I love the torture video. He's still roaming free, right? Like, my point is here, just because there is a rich and powerful man in the Epstein files with enough evidence to be incriminating to the extent of throwing them in jail does not mean that they would be in jail if that were to be true, predicated on all of the examples that I just shared with you. And maybe I would argue here that there actually was some negligence on behalf of Merrick Garland. And I wish that Merrick Garland would have looked further into Trump in the Epstein files alongside the associations of all these other people who were roaming free regardless of the preponderance of evidence to suggest that they should, at the bare minimum, be indicted, right? So I would put some blame on Merrick Garland here.
And I would put more on the CIA and how the situation was handled for as long as it was handled.
I wouldn't say the CIA. I'd say the FBI. I'd also put some blame on the FBI. Some blame on James Comey for sure. I actually kind of a bit of blame on James Comey.
Can I ask if you believe that Jeffrey Epstein was of intelligence agencies?
I'm not gonna lie. I've never even investigated the claim for its validity. Yeah.
No, I don't think that most of that's true either. I believe that he had some ties into intelligence agencies. I wish that we got to hear him speak. I believe that he was going to give us information that maybe not everybody needed to hear, because as you just depicted, some of those things are absolutely grotesque and disgusting.
Right.
But it's a part of the world that I believe that we need to know.
If Donald Trump was truly exonerated by the files, then why has his DOJ illegally redacted his name over 950,000 times?
That's a great question that I couldn't give you that information on.
Right. The fact that his DOJ has illegally redacted his own name over 950,000 times proves your claim that he is exonerated by the files,
it's speculating,
incriminated by the files, to be wrong.
It speculates it. It does. It speculates it. It doesn't prove anything, though.
Right. It speculates it. So then when we look at what is redacted, all right, such as the FBI interviews with a credible accuser that we know was raped by Epstein, also accusing Trump of taking advantage of her while she was a minor, then the story becomes clear. Yes.
It speculates it. It really does.
No. What speculates it is the fact that they redacted his name over 950,000 times. What proves it is that they redacted FBI interviews of a credible accuser that we know was raped by Epstein, also accusing Trump.
And I believe that anybody that is interacting in any of that, in any of those...
Are you going to respond to that, please? Like, what speculates it is the amount of redaction. What proves it is the fact that he redacted a credible accusation from a minor.
I believe anybody that's in those files that's done those things should be held accountable.
If Donald Trump was a rapist, would you still support him as president?
I don't support rape at all, no.
So you wouldn't support him as president if he was a rapist? Like, that's like, if all the files came out and it proved that he raped somebody, you would no longer support him as president?
I do not support rape in any kind, no.
Okay, I'm sorry for like being that guy. I'm gonna need a direct answer to the question that I'm asking, because I don't want you to be able to like weasel or pivot your way out of it. Would you still support him as president?
What I don't support any rape. No, I don't support any rape.
Okay, but like saying that you don't support rape is different than saying that you wouldn't support Trump as president if he were to have raped someone.
I would not support Trump as president if he raped somebody. There
Okay,
you go.
okay. I'm sorry for like asking you to be hyper specific about your answer.
That's all right.
Like
It's
my
all
bad.
right.
You know, I just
No, you've done this for a long time. I hear you.
Oftentimes people will give like elusive answers, and then they'll use that to like get out of the situation. Once I bring up the fact that we actually don't need to wait for the files to be released in order to understand that he's a rapist. A court already proved that in 2023. A unanimous jury of 9 held Donald Trump civilly liable for raping a woman by the name of E. Jean Carroll in 1995 or 1996. So if you wouldn't support Trump as president, given that he raped somebody, you should go ahead and take the red hat off now.
You know, that's before I was born. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, it was before that you were born, but was it rape? Yes, so you should stop supporting him as president because you just told us less than a minute ago, okay, that you wouldn't support him as president, given that he's a rapist.
You know, that's tough, and I bet you get a lot of people on that. What year were you born?
04.
04. 2001 myself, yeah. You know, I don't know anything that happened. The 1900s seems very unfamiliar to me. But, you know, I believe it was a different world back then, and I don't know how to react to some of the clips and the different things that I've seen.
Okay, so you're saying that because it's a different world, you will still support him as president, even though he raped someone in that period?
No, I don't support that act at all. I would like,
but see, now we're just back to you not supporting that act. But do you not support his presidency because of that act, or do you just merely condemn that action yet still support his presidency?
Condemn that action, but support the presidency. I have to.
But you told us less than a minute ago that if you engage in that action, you would condemn that action and stop supporting the presidency as a whole.
I can't stop supporting the presidency as a whole. I think he's done too much good for the country.
Okay, so then why do you tell us 30 seconds ago that you would stop supporting the presidency as a whole, given that you knew he raped somebody? Isn't this
well, I knew where you were going with that, and I gave you the what you wanted to hear. However, I can't.
Oh, so you admit that like any like reasonable person would stop supporting Trump, given that he's a rapist. Here's my thoughts on this.
No,
here's my thoughts. Let me tell you. Here's my thoughts. Let me tell you. You know that reasonable people would stop supporting the president if they rape somebody. You know that reasonable people would think it's actually insane to not stop supporting the president given that they rape somebody. Because you know that reasonable people understand that people guilty of violent sex offenses shouldn't be flipping burgers at a McDonald's. Therefore, they definitely shouldn't be running the most powerful country on the face of planet Earth. Not only because predators shouldn't have power over their prey, but also because in the normalization of rape culture, we're supposed to condemn, criticize, and limit the opportunity of rapists to socially disincentivize other bad actors from engaging in that same bad action. But now we're saying if you're a rapist, fuck it. we'll just give you the keys to the kingdom. You can now be the most
Absolutely
powerful man
not.
alive. All right, you know all those things are true, and that's why you told us that if Donald
Because
Trump had raped somebody,
rapists should be burned underneath.
one moment.
Yeah.
Therefore, you know that if Donald Trump had raped somebody, you would stop supporting him as president. That's the only reason why you told us that. But that was a mask. Okay? Now that, like, I've proven he has, we brought up the court that adjudicated him to be guilty of it. You've now taken that mask off, and you're telling us that you'll still support him. I think that you're a cult member, dude. I'm just trying to be honest with you here. I don't think that you have any red lines against Trump. Trump could do anything, and you would still support him. He could defend the murder of citizens. He could rape a woman. He could sexually exploit children. He could call for the execution of Democrats. He could start a war threatening to invade one of our allies. You know, he could infringe on the Constitution about 25 times. He could do anything, and you will still support him, which actually leads me to my next question. What is one thing Trump could do that would make you stop supporting him as president?
That's a great question and a hypothetical that I don't know the answer of.
Exactly. If you quote unquote don't know something the president could do in order to make you revoke your support, then you're a member of a cult. And this isn't something I'd just say to you. This is something I would say to anyone and everyone. Democrats, Republicans alike. If
I think that's
you
tough,
couldn't
though.
name something that the president could do that make you stop supporting them, then you are far gone.
I believe that there's a lot of that's tough. I believe that's tough. I believe that the war in
Right,
I
the fact
believe
that you
the
think that's
killing
tough
of
is what
those
proves that
people
you're
right now
really
is
like imagine this.
no.
Imagine this.
That's
Did you
I think
support
that's a
Biden as
hard
president?
statement.
Did you support
Yeah, I
Biden
did.
as president?
As the president, I did support him. Yes,
What about Obama?
he was the president. I had to.
Okay, so you just always support the president? That's anti-American.
No, I don't think that's anti-American.
It's literally as anti-American as it could get. So America
How?
was founded on the rejection of monarchs, of kings, of dictators, of leaders with no check or balance. Okay, you know, the foundation of the Oval Office, the executive branch of our government, is supposed to be a duly elected representative by the people for the people. And I think that hidden check and balance of any well-functioning democracy would be the social support for against the president and what they're doing, and that we should stop supporting the president given that they're hurting the country, and we should support the president given that they're helping the country. So, like, clearly, when you're telling us that you're going to support the president regardless of what they do, regardless of if they hurt or if they help, okay? You're essentially just telling us that you kind of just want them to be positioned as like this king, this dictatorial figure, and that's why I say that the values described are so anti-American.
Anti-American. I believe once that person is in power, there's no longer a point. He's going to be here for another 3 years anyway.
Yeah,
Why?
Point, because then you
consistently do that.
Yes, because guess what? There's checks and balances on that power, like
Right.
Congress, okay, like impeachment, like a general yearning for public support. So if he's doing something bad, you shouldn't support it because it then pressures your representatives into stop him from doing that bad thing. For instance.
Yeah, I don't believe that. I also don't agree that Biden should have been elected in the beginning.
Wait, we're not talking about Biden. Respond to that. You said I don't see a point in like even like, you know, supporting or not supporting a president or their actions after they're elected. The point would be to help check them and prevent them from doing it because Congress could stop them.
Right. Yeah, I think that's what what happened with the Watergate. Like if you're gonna get impeached, you're gonna get impeached.
Do you think Nixon should have been impeached?
Yeah.
Wait, why? Because you just told us that you're going to support the president no matter what because they're president, and you don't see a point in dissenting the actions of the president.
You know, take it. Okay. I think it was whenever you took it all the way back to Obama that I would have had to start disagreeing with. But again, I was also 8 years old.
So I mean, but now it seems like we found a fatal issue with the argument you're providing.
No.
Yeah,
I don't.
You just said that
I
Nixon
don't
should have been
agree with
impeached after telling us that you're going to support the president no matter what, regardless of what they do, and there's no point in doing otherwise. So then why would you argue
Obviously,
that you don't
there
support
is
Nixon?
something. I think it's just putting it on the spot right
Wait,
here.
wait. If Nixon should have been impeached for Watergate, why shouldn't Trump be impeached for illegally hiding files that accused him of child rape? I think that's about 1 billion times worse than Watergate. There's a new Watergate every week.
There is a new Watergate every week, but I'm just
Okay,
saying.
wait. So you'd argue here
somebody
that
gets
if
it,
Nixon
somebody
should
gets
have
it.
been impeached for Watergate, and under Trump there is a new Watergate every week, then Donald Trump should be impeached every week?
No, I think it was.
Wait, so why should Nixon get impeached for Watergate, but Trump shouldn't?
I believe that that's what needed to happen at the time.
Okay, but that's not what needs to happen anymore, even though, right, you'd argue that the actions that Donald Trump sometimes engages in today are either the same or worse than it. That's like, okay, like I said, like, you're like clearly a cult member, right? Like, no red lines, no red lights. Dude, if Nixon literally raped somebody, do you think that he would have been impeached?
You know, I don't know. I think there's something weird about the country whenever it comes to that.
Oh, like the country.
With people in power like that.
The country doesn't really care about people in power raping others?
I think it's wrong, but I think that there's
You think
something
it's wrong?
weird that's going
Then
on
do
like
something about it. Don't sit here and tell me that you'll still support Trump even if he raped E. Jean Carroll. Spineless.
Spineless. That's tough. Can I ask you one more thing before I
No,
leave?
bro. I'm sorry, man. I've exhausted my conversation with you. I think that you are a cult member, bro. Listen, bro. Listen, dude. I just think that you got to change your beliefs, you know? You weren't up here screaming at me. You weren't up here, right, being all, like, super crazy and mean, all right? But your beliefs are definitely indicative of a member of a cult, and it is really
What's up, Dean?
Okay, reevaluating that. Welcome into You Support Trump.
Yeah, I do.
How old are you?
19.
You're looking kind of small, bro.
You got a good physique yourself.
I'm just kidding. All right. Wait, you've been up here before.
Yeah, I want to actually have another debate with you about another topic.
What did we debate about last time? Can you remember?
ICE.
Oh. Yeah, you were arguing that undocumented immigrants don't have constitutional protections.
I mean, we can re-argue that, man. You can try to change my mind, but I'm here for a debate.
God. Give me a second. I need to thank a couple of people. If you want to support me, if you want to support the stream and what we do here, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal, and the link tree in my bio on TikTok. You could also find the handle right there at the top of the phone screen. Same thing over on YouTube in the pinned message. I want to thank a couple people. Delilah, thank you so much for the $15 over on Venmo. Thank you so much for the love, Delilah. Let's get 150 Delilah W's. The $15 is for Momo to get a toy, so Momo won't be bored while you are on your trip. Thank you. Thank you so much for the love. As a black trans woman who is a UMD college student and that works as a vet tech who's also in school to be a veterinarian, fuck Trump. Well, thank you so much for the $15, Delilah. Fuck Trump, and appreciate you so much for the love. I'll definitely have to find a way to spin that on Momo. Thank you. Catherine, I appreciate you so much for the $10 as well. Show some love to Catherine down below in that chat. It says Trump quote from 10 years ago, I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I probably wouldn't lose any voters. And he proves himself right every day, dude. Kyla, thank you so much for the $10. He says, just because it happened a while ago doesn't mean it didn't happen. Guess is dumb for not getting it. Rape is rape. Deadass Kayla. And then Alexander, thank you so much for the $15 over on Venmo. Show some love to Alexander down below. I really appreciate you. Tawny, thank you for the $10. She says, but Biden, but Obama, but Clinton. They aren't the president currently. I know. They're more critical of Clinton than they are Trump. Make it make sense. And then, oh my God, we got a big one here. Miss Katie, thank you so much for the $50 donation over on Venmo, Katie. I appreciate the hell out of you. Thank you so much for the love. Show some love to Katie down below. It says, always showing MAGA the receipts of their dear leader being a crook. Also love the Radiohead shirt. Thank you, Katie. And fuck yes, I appreciate you so much for the support. I hope that you're enjoying this stream. All the love of the world to you, and thank you so much for the support. Let's get 500 KDWs down below. And Elizabeth, thank you for the $10 for the tip to the server when you get oysters. Thank you so much for that love, Elizabeth. And then Victoria, thank you so much for the $10 as well. You guys are so fucking kind. Appreciate y'all so much. Over on PayPal, Mariella, thank you for the $20, who says, hey Dean, watching from Germany, we are scared and angry. History is repeating itself. Keep going. Love you. Love you too, Mariella. Thank you so much for the $20. Huge shout out to you. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Sydney, thank you so much for the $5 over on PayPal. And then Caroline, oh my goodness, thank you so much for the $100 donation on PayPal. Jesus Christ, Caroline. It is so good to see you today. I hope that you're doing well out there in Germany. As always, thank you so much for the love. I genuinely do not deserve that. That is so insane. Thank you so much for the love, kindness, and generosity. I would really appreciate it if everybody watching could please show some love to the GOAT Caroline down below. Caroline with 100 says, it's just sad at this point. I just read people have a natural tendency to accept the easiest solution presented to them. That only changes with widening intellectually. But for most, that's too much effort leading back to the starting point, just accepting what people tell you. Well, Caroline, I really love and enjoy your insight. Thank you so much for the $100 and the very insightful words. Please do show some love to Queen Caroline down below. And Sophia, thank you for the $34, who says, hey, Dean, my name is Sophia, and I just wanted to tell you that you're my biggest inspiration to drop out of a uni program I was unhappy into to pursue journalism. Can you please give your best advice to a journalism student? Thank you so much for the $34, Sophia. I'm not going to lie. I don't really know if I have any good advice to journalism students because I don't know if I know too much about journalism. I think that I do journalism, but I don't really know too much about the way you're supposed to do journalism, if that makes any sense. I just do what I think works. Maybe one piece of advice that I'd have here is don't be scared. You know what I mean? Don't be scared to get that story. Even if it means feeling really uncomfortable in an in-person environment, make sure that you are literally safe. But after that you've ensured that you are literally safe, don't be scared to get that story. Appreciate you so much for that love. We're all caught up on Venmo and PayPal. Thank you guys so much for the kindness. We got one really massive super chat to thank you, then we'll hop into this debate. Man, Flickhead, you've been here for the last couple days, and I appreciate the ever-loving hell out of you. Thank you so very much for the 200 euros over on YouTube Super Chat. Flickhead, that is literally insane, man. Dude, thank you so much for the love. I want y'all to show some massive love to Caroline and some massive love to Flickhead down below in that comment section. Thank you so much for the love. Flickhead with the 200 euros says, hey Dean, I want to thank you again for being able to speak about some of these sensitive topics. They make my stomach churn, but people need to be made uncomfortable and need to feel sick because that's what it is. There's no sugarcoating things like this. I hope justice is served. You know, I have very similar thoughts to you, Flickhead. Once again, thank you so much for the love. That is so incredibly kind of you. I'm so appreciative and genuinely grateful for your kindness and your generosity. And I couldn't agree with you more in your comments. You know, like, it's unfortunate, but we have to feel uncomfortable. We do. Because I think that we live in an uncomfortable world. And I don't think that me not feeling uncomfortable by not looking into these things, by not advocating against these things, you know, is worth more harm towards the victims and survivors. You know, ultimately they're who matters in this situation. And I'll accept a level of comfortability if it means fighting for their comfortability. Uncomfortability, for my uncomfortability. Well, thank you so much for that love, Flickhead. Show some love to Flickhead down below in that comment section. We're all caught up. We have around an hour left on the live stream, by the way, guys. I gotta get off here in 1 hour. So like I said, we're gonna be doing around a 2 hour and 50-minute stream today. If you want to support me before we do get off, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal, and the link tree in my bio on TikTok. Pin message over on YouTube. And the handle's also at the top of the phone screen. Man, go ahead and take it away and tell us why you support Trump and what you want to debate about.
Do you want to take off where we left off last time?
Where did we leave off?
Well, we left off on me saying that why I support ICE and stuff. I believe let me try to remember the sentence. But let's just hop right into it. Pretty much to refresh your memory. I'm surprised you even remember me last time. But I support ICE because I believe I like the way that they're enforcing the law, pretty much how aggressive they are and everything. So, and I remember you telling me we was arguing about the rights that they both have, what they should and shouldn't have. You remember that?
Yeah, I don't think that you care about the law.
No, I care about the law. It's without law, there's nothing, you know?
Then why don't you think the law should apply to undocumented immigrants?
Because they're not United States citizens.
And why does that matter?
Because if you're a United States citizen, putting American citizens first and not any other country's
But I don't think
citizens
that
first.
I don't think that putting American citizens first means not giving natural and human rights to
No, it's okay.
immigrants.
It's okay to give natural and human rights to undocumented immigrants, but it's also important to put the people first and not put all our attention on.
So, what constitutional
immigrants.
rights should undocumented immigrants not have?
Like they shouldn't be given a lot of like focus on them mainly. I'd say.
But
focus
is not a constitutional right.
Let me think, because like I feel like that we put American citizens last when it comes to immigrants and stuff. When Trump wasn't in charge, pretty much.
Wait. You just very clearly claimed, okay, that undocumented immigrants shouldn't have some constitutional rights. I asked you which ones.
I didn't
you
really
said
say
focus.
that. I didn't really say that though.
Yes, you did.
That's you kind of twisting my words a
It's
little
not
bit.
me twisting your words, little bro.
No,
Calm
sir.
down.
It's pretty much what I'm trying to say is that we should not put undocumented immigrants or illegals first. We should not put them first.
Let me ask you this question.
What's up?
Do you think I want to put undocumented immigrants first?
Yes.
Okay, so what do I believe in that puts undocumented immigrants first?
That you just want to give them citizenship, the ones who didn't commit any crimes. You want to give them, yeah.
And you think that's anti-American and that somehow hurts the citizens?
No, it's because we need, like, we're not even focused. There's so much stuff that you can do for the American citizens first, and it's a slap in the face to the immigrants who have to wait 10 to 15 years to become actual citizens of the United States.
Well,
you know,
using your framework, I mean, I don't think it's a slap in the face, but check this out. Even if it is, according to your framework, who cares? Because we need to put citizens first, right? And putting citizens first means that we should give undocumented immigrants a pathway to residency or citizenship because it helps the citizens by upholstering the labor force, by upholstering the economy, by increasing real median wages, by increasing government
you mean
revenue,
you mean the immigrants who get paid pennies? You're okay with them working for less? You know, that's pretty much what y'all want.
Well, that's actually exactly why they should be offered a pathway to residency or citizenship, because the reason why they get paid less than citizens on average is because they're not citizens. They have less bargaining power.
Why would you want? That's dehumanizing them. Pretty much, you're just like, okay, it's okay if they get paid less money. It's okay if they get paid pennies and stuff.
I don't know if you're listening to me. I'm saying that it's not okay, dumbass.
Yeah, it's definitely not, and I don't think we should. That's something that, like, I believe that it's so much stuff that you can do.
This guy's not even listening to the point. I want you to listen to my point this time. Like, this is honestly insufferable, okay?
I hear you.
You don't hear me. Listen, you're not listening. Are you ready to listen?
Let's hear it, man.
You said that we need to put citizens first, right?
Correct.
And you think that giving undocumented immigrants a pathway to residency or citizenship is putting Americans last, right?
Yes, it's a part of it.
Putting Americans last when it literally helps Americans.
Because you're so focused on immigrants.
No, actually, we're focused on making the country
illegal
better,
immigrants,
not just for the immigrants, but for the citizens. Like literally, think about what you're saying. You're saying even though this policy materially benefits pre-existing citizens, it is somehow hurting pre-existing citizens. That's incoherent.
I said it plays a part. It doesn't.
Seconds.
It's not fully.
One moment. Stop, bro. Stop. Use your brain for 3 seconds. If mass amnesty significantly benefits pre-existing citizens, it is not putting pre-existing citizens last. What puts pre-existing citizens last is policy like the big, beautiful bill that took healthcare away from 10 million of them. That was Trump's. You support him. Is Donald Trump refusing to abide by a court order to pay out food stamp benefits for 16 million starving American children? Trump did that. You support him. Your framework is so backwards. Okay? America first is only a slogan to you. It's not action. Because whenever you have an opportunity to legitimately benefit the citizens, you don't do it. Whenever you have an opportunity to legitimately serve a detriment to the citizens, you do it, regardless if it's putting us in a new war. Now we have servicemen and women fucking dying, starving kids, as I've already pointed out, eroding our checks and balances, or having more low-income Americans die because of lack of access to healthcare. Like, you do it. It's so insane to me. It's all backwards. Everybody's telling me to check your bio. I think I remember what your bio is. The America Reich. So yes, I forgot that you want America to be the Fourth Reich after Nazi Germany. And that makes sense because America First is just a slogan. It is the same slogan, okay, held to by people like Fuentes who don't actually care about this country.
Oh yeah, my stuff don't mean the exact things Fuentes stands for. It doesn't. He's not the smartest. Let's say that, okay? We're pretty much. Yeah, you can say that. That's all you do is insult people when you feel like you want to. You know,
I don't want that. I did.
No, sir. No, because last time you pretty much kicked me and you pretty much conceded, and I won the argument. That's exactly how that went. Based off you being so sorry. Based off you being so sorry.
What specific argument did you win?
Oh, me pretty much saying that we should put Americans first and we should stop worried about immigrants.
No, that's not an
argument.
Tell you why. What was the specific argument? No. I want you to tell me. You said that you beat me in the debate that we had. So what was the specific argument that you gave? What was the specific counter rebuttal that I gave? And how did you specifically prove it to not be the case? I want you to fucking justify that claim. I'm honestly really sick and tired of idiots like you coming up here. Making a fool of yourself.
Okay,
I've already exposed you as a fraud. Let's get into it. In the 20 minutes that you've been connected to the stream. And B, then like positioning your ego above all else than making such terrible claims, such as the last thing that came out of your mouth. So I'm going to ask you to shut up, bro. Why are you acting like a child? Just be fucking quiet for 3 seconds in your life. I know you've never, made or let a single woman in your life finish, but try to let me finish just saying this one sentence. So now, in consideration of all that, I just want you to share with me the very specific argument that you made last time you were on the live, my very specific counter argument, and how my counter argument failed that led to the conclusion of you winning the debate.
Well, first off, I want you to start being mature and stop talking about women finishing and stuff. Be a little bit more mature. I'm 19. You're 20. What? 21, 22. Have a little self-respect for yourself and be an adult. Okay. Start acting like one.
Okay. Well,
and then
if we want to start acting like adults here, then we should probably stop acting like putting America first means to make the country suffer.
I mean, well,
destroy our economy, erode our checks and balances, and refuse to feed 19 million starving American children. Now, give the damn argument. What did you argue last time that somehow defeated me in the context of a debate? I'm going to sit here. I'm going to write down the argument. I want you to tell me it word for word.
Okay, I'll go.
And then I want you to repeat my counter argument that I gave to your position that failed to refute the original argument.
I don't remember the exact full argument on it, but I remember my points that I did make. So,
okay,
some of the points I made. So some of the points that I did make. I mean, if you let me talk, finally I can say it. Some of the points that I really made was that we should not sit there and keep on putting immigrants first by letting anybody into the country, no matter if they came into the country and they didn't commit a crime. And the crime that they did commit was coming into the country illegally, and that's the crime that they committed. And people be like, oh, but they didn't commit any crime and they're the lowest in the crime rates. Okay, so they're the lowest right now, but it's rising. Do we want to sit there and wait to it rise? Do we want to sit there and wait until the crime rate rises with illegal aliens? Do we want to sit there and wait to that? Or do we want to eliminate the problem before it happens?
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
What's your source for the claim that undocumented immigrant crime rates are rising?
Oh, it's at what? Last time I checked, it was low. It was pretty low. And then it was rising. I don't remember the exact site, but it was a fact that it was rising.
Okay.
That
you need evidence?
No, it was immigrants. I can't exactly give you full things right now. I didn't got every. No, sir. I don't have every. No, it's just because I don't have everything prepared.
Okay, can we X that claim out since you have no evidence for it?
I mean, not really. That's one of the points I made last time. You didn't ask that question last time.
If you're going to argue a point, you have to be able to provide evidence for it.
I understand that. Well, we can exit that out, but at the same time, that it was a fact that do we want to sit there and wait till immigrants are committing more crimes than Americans? Because you made that point.
Yeah, But you're saying that we need to sit here and wait until that happens. How do we know that will happen?
I just said, do we want to sit there and wait till it happens? Because
how do we know that will happen in the future? How do we know that?
It's how do we know it's not going to happen? How do we know it's going to happen? Do we
wait,
want to sit there and
so
wait?
Now you're arguing that we know it's going to. Wait, so now you're arguing that we know it's going to happen because we don't know that it's not going to happen. What?
No, I said, do we want to sit there and wait till it happens? We don't know if it's going to happen or it won't. It's just
I'd argue that we have pretty strong inductive reason to believe that it won't happen. That being that for like all recorded American history, undocumented immigrants have been significantly less likely to commit any and all crimes when compared to citizens.
But they have committed crimes though against American citizens. But y'all, and that's where the Democrats.
Hey, you're a dumbass because you're making two different claims. You made the claim that at some point in the future...
Then you always sit there and insult people when you...
Pipe down. I was in the middle of my sentence.
Oh, did I hurt your feelings? Sorry.
Do my feelings seem hurt?
You say what?
Do my feelings seem hurt?
Repeat.
Do my feelings seem hurt?
I don't know. You look at you, bro.
Right. Okay, so now you don't know. So it seems like you make a lot of claims with no evidence. Right? And then all I have to do is investigate it for like half a second. And then all of a sudden you start saying, I don't know. I feel like this is a trend. But listen, you made the claim that we know at some point in the future, the crime rate of undocumented immigrants will be higher than the crime rate of natural U.S. born citizens. I asked you for your source. You couldn't provide it.
I just said I couldn't provide it right now. I can look it up and find your source. But at the same time.
Hey, buddy. I'm in the middle of my sentence. Can we work
And I just answered your question. I just answered your question.
The thing is I actually wasn't asking you a question.
Well, I just made. I answered your claim pretty much.
Wait, one second. I was making a statement. I was in the middle of the statement, and no, you actually didn't answer my claim because I wasn't done making my claim. See how that works?
That's fine.
Listen, I know that it's hard to control your impulses, but work on it.
No, sir. Okay? I'm just trying to be quick because I gotta go somewhere.
I know, but actually, this isn't being quick. It slows things down. because I
All right, let's
didn't
go.
make
Let's
the
just hop
claim
to it.
yet.
Let's just hop to it.
No,
Continue.
no. I'm
I
gonna
like to
make
hear
sure
it.
that I'm gonna make sure that I give you my explanation here.
No, because
So-
you're gonna drag it on
no,
for
I'm gonna-
5
I'm gonna-
minutes.
Wait, I'm gonna make sure. Well, sir, I'm gonna make sure I give my explanation here. It actually,
quick.
it does not make anything quick to interrupt me while I'm in the middle of one of my claims, because then I have to restart the claim. Like, think about it. This is the third time in a row that you've interrupted me in the middle of me making this singular claim. If you never interrupted me, I would have been done making the claim 2.5 minutes ago. So it doesn't expedite anything for you to act like a petulant man-child and interrupt me in the middle of my sentence. And listen, I get it. I understand why you were interrupting. We all do. It's because you know that I'm about to fry your ass. Like, you know what's coming. I don't.
That's
think that
1 minute.
I don't think that you're too smart, but I think that you're smart enough in order to understand that I'm going to fry your ass. And so, anyways, let's do that now. Let's fry your ass. You originally made the claim that, you know, at some point in the future, undocumented immigrants will be just as likely, if not more likely, to commit crimes and have higher crime rates compared to natural U.S.-born citizens. I was like, what's your source? You couldn't give one to me because what you're saying is false. So then you started freaking out, and then you revised the claim to, well, we don't know if undocumented immigrants will be more or less likely to commit crimes than natural U.S.-born citizens in the future. Therefore, we should just assume that they will, or be hesitant about the plausibility that they will. And then I responded to that by bringing up, yeah, we actually do know that they won't. Okay, because there's a very strong inductive argument here that we could use to reasonably entail the conclusion that their crime rates will remain lower than natural U.S.-born citizens. And that inductive argument would be the simple fact that for like all of recorded American history, their crime rates have been lower than natural U.S.-born citizens. And we've never seen, and we don't see now, an upward trend to suggest otherwise. So then you just completely dumped the idea that either undocumented immigrants are more likely to commit crimes, will be more likely to commit crimes, or could be more likely to commit crimes. And now you're making the claim, well, although they're not more likely to commit crimes, and there's no good argument to argue that they might be more likely in the future, that they still commit some crimes. So I understand that you want to backtrack those original two claims and act like they don't exist and you never made them. If you could please concede them both, I'd really appreciate it. And then we can move on to the new claim that we should deport undocumented immigrants because they commit some crimes. Go ahead.
No, sir. Actually, I didn't sit there. You kind of twisted my words around a little bit, actually, because I did not sit there and say that it was going to be about comparing them to American crime rate versus the illegal. What I meant was that we don't want to wait till it rises because it's never going to really get to that level because we're deporting them. So we just never going to get to that level. It's just that there is the fact that there are illegal immigrants that are coming to this country and committing crimes when they're trying to come here for peace and everything. That's what they want us to believe, and then they come here, hurt an American citizen. That's not okay. So if that's happening, we don't want to sit there and wait until more American citizens.
What a generalization.
No, is that we don't want to sit there. I let you talk for your little 3 minutes. I've been counting how long it's been since you.
Yeah, I know, and I'm going to interrupt you. I'm sorry. I'm a bad guy. I guess I don't care too much. See, the issue is that was a very hasty generalization. You said they say they want to come here for innocent purposes, and then they commit crimes. How would you feel about if that was said about American men? Undocumented immigrants commit 1% of violent crimes. American men commit 92%. You are not a peaceful person because you want to commit violent crimes.
Why would I want to commit violent crimes?
No,
why would I want to commit violent crimes?
Because you're an American man and they commit a lot of crimes.
You commit crimes?
Well, I mean, maybe you could say the same thing about me, but I'm going to be.
Yes or no? It was a question. Do you commit crimes?
No,
violent crimes.
I'm a hypocrite.
Okay, then. So the argument was completely irrelevant on what I said.
No, because I'm arguing that I'm a hypocrite in this scenario. And although logically speaking, the argument would lead to the conclusion that I would be included within this group of people who are more likely to commit crimes given the fact that I'm an American man, I'm a hypocrite, I'm acting illogical. But my point here is that I think that hasty generalizations of people are wrong. Okay? Right? And you are throwing one of these hasty generalizations at undocumented immigrants. You're using words like they, okay, to say that they want to commit all these violent crimes. which is just simply not true. I think that's very disrespectful to people, to humans. I think that you forget that undocumented immigrants are people too, because I don't think that you want them to be people.
No, I
because
treat them.
that-
No, the thing is, I'm okay with immigrants. That's the thing. That's the point that we agreed
then
on.
why do you
last
throw
time.
hasty generalizations?
No, can I make my okay? So you talked
Why-
for like
why-
2
why do you
minutes right there,
generalize
and then you talked for
undocumented
3
immigrants?
minutes. So all together,
Why do you
you've been
generalize
talking for
undocumented
5
immigrants?
minutes. So I can
if you
get
can't
here,
provide
sit here,
the
and make
job?
my actual.
Why do you
Look,
generalize undocumented immigrants?
No, I'm okay with immigrants.
Why do you generalize
Coming here-
undocumented
Can
immigrants?
you let
Why do
me
you-
talk?
No, because I
Is
want you to
what
answer the
what I'm
question.
trying to
Why
get
do you
to.
generalize undocumented immigrants? You're not answering.
What you say?
Why do you generalize undocumented immigrants? You said
Why?
that they
Because I
commit
don't want them
crimes.
to be here undocumented.
Oh, okay. So you admit that you generalize undocumented immigrants, not because the generalization is fair, but rather because you want them to be deported. You just admitted to using fear tactics and fear mongering to justify the deportation of undocumented immigrants.
No,
Thanks
I'm
for
okay
taking the
with,
mask off.
I'm okay with legal immigrants. I'm okay with people coming
Wait,
here.
saying that you're okay with illegal
Can you
immigrants is
let
not
me
answering my
talk?
question.
Is the point
No,
that I'm
because
trying to get
I
to.
want you to acknowledge what you just said. I asked you why you generalize undocumented immigrants, and then you said it's because you want them to be deported. You just admitted to throwing a false generalization at undocumented
Deportable.
immigrants to make them seem like violent, bad people, saying they commit crimes, so we could then justify their deportation. You just took the mask off and you admitted to it, and you don't even realize it because of how stupid of a person you are.
Maybe I made my claim wrong. Maybe I came in here and didn't make it clear. Yeah, I don't like immigrants here, illegal immigrants, but I like legal immigrants. That's how it goes. People that actually want to go through the process to become an American citizen. Quite frankly, that's fine. But people that want to come here and leech off of the system and then want to come here and expect to get everything handed to them, no, you get out of here. Go through the system that this person has to go through. You understand? Just like if you was to go to Norway and you was to overstay your welcome, you would be deported. If you was to go anywhere else without actually going through the legal process of actually becoming a citizen in that country, that's exactly why should we be more lenient on it? You understand? It's like we're more lenient on like immigration laws than most countries. You can get jailed for overstaying your visit in some countries, I believe. It's like it's no fair. Why should America be lenient?
Wait. So, I mean, yeah, right now you're just trying to justify derogatory prejudice, right, and generalizations. I want to show you a clip real quick. This just got sent to me. Give me a moment here to pull it
I
up.
just find it.
This just got sent to me. Don't run.
What is it?
I don't know. Let's check it out together.
Who is it, me?
I don't know. Let's check it out together.
Yes, it's me.
It's beta bullshit like so bad right now that you're doing this
really
on
trying
purpose
to
to
figure out
hide it.
Why
Like,
he's
it-
hiding? Like, say it with
Oh,
your
wow.
Hey.
Just with the signal. Okay.
Oh well.
Hey, they blurring out the American
He's gonna
flag
go
in the
to
back.
his job as a crossing guard with
Let's
that shit.
go.
apparently.
Holy
Crossing
shit,
guard.
man.
Yeah, that's me, baby.
Okay. So you hail Hitler?
Nah, hell America.
That's the sick hail.
It's actually you want to go there? We can actually go there and we can talk about what it actually means as a Roman it's a Roman salute actually.
The Roman salute stole by Hitler and then turned into
It
the
can't
sick
be
hail.
stolen, it's history.
So yeah, you're a Nazi?
No, I'm an American.
So you think that true Americans throw the Roman salute?
The Roman salute means peace and power.
So I just want to clarify. True Americans throw the sick hail.
Hey, did you know that Americans
I just
actually
want
used to do that before
actually,
the
can you
Nazis?
turn your camera on and do it?
Can I
right
ask you something? I don't have a shirt on, so.
Then go put a shirt on. You're at your house.
All right, bet. But also, I want to say
No,
this while I'm getting
no.
ready.
Stop talking. Go put a shirt on. Turn your camera on.
Okay.
And throw the sick heel. Let's see
Okay,
it.
bet. You're asking me to do something I wouldn't mind doing. Okay. I knew you were a good guy, Dean. Look at that.
I'm a good guy. What do you mean by that?
He asked me to do it. That's funny.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it. Don't worry. I'm getting dressed. By the way, Americans actually used to do that salute
Right.
the
Just turn your
American
camera
flag.
on. Right. Turn.
No, I'm
turn
getting
your camera on.
dressed. I'm
Let's see
talking
the-
to you. I'm getting
see the-
dressed. Talking to you. I'm getting dressed.
It takes you more than like 2 seconds to throw a shirt on.
Yeah, because I'm not in my room. I'm in my office.
Okay.
Yeah, so Americans actually used to do that salute to the American flag before Nazi
Just stop
Germany
talking and put a
took
shirt
over.
on. Sorry.
I'm telling you, I'm educating you while I'm
so,
getting ready.
see, the thing is I'm just gonna ask you to stop talking so you could put a shirt on faster.
Oh, he doesn't want to hear the truth.
Oh yeah, just so scared of the truth from the guy that justified generalizing undocumented immigrants to demonize them.
I say take them all out and put them in camps.
Right. Oh, put them in camps. Could you say that while you're doing the Roman salute?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, give me 1 sec. Yeah, we should sit there and we should deport them all.
Wait,
put
sorry,
them in
your
camps.
camera's not on.
Oh no, my camera will be on. Don't even worry about it, Dean.
Just waiting for that. When
I got
is your
you,
camera
buddy.
gonna be on?
I got you.
When
You
is
ain't
it
gotta
gonna be on?
worry about it.
Is it gonna be on soon or like what's going on?
Yes, sir. It's gonna be on. All right.
Okay, so like, what's the view here? Tell us.
So this is right to America.
Oh wait, make sure to show your face too. Make sure to show your face
See that beautiful
too.
flag right there?
Could you show your face, please?
You see that beautiful flag right there?
Oh yeah. And what about throwing the undocumented immigrants in camps?
I say we put them in camps always. What's wrong with putting them in camps?
Can you say that like while you're hitting the signal?
Oh, help! See?
And throw them in camps?
Yeah.
Damn. All right. Yeah. All right. We kicked him. Sorry, guys. No, I just wanted to make sure that maybe someone could get that on screen recording. We have close to 20,000 people in here, so I'm sure that'll find a way back to his employer. So, yeah. I guess that'll definitely find its way back to his employer. That's great. So that's why we did that. If you're curious, why I just invited somebody to be an open Nazi on my stream. It's so hopefully that clip will be able to find its way back to his employer. There's reason there, I swear. And then second reason is just to observe on the fact that this is where we're at, guys. This is where we are at as a country. We have American citizens hailing Hitler, saying that immigrants should be thrown in camps in support of the Trump administration, downstream of the rhetoric and actions that we've seen from the Trump administration about how undocumented immigrants are the poison of the blood of our country, about how they are destroying the country from within, about how they're violent gang members attacking the people, like eroding the foundation of American values. And that's where we have, that's the point that we've gotten ourselves to. American citizens hailing Hitler, saying that we should throw them all in camps. Man, I'm going to thank a couple people on Venmo and PayPal real quick. If you want to support the stream, support what we do here, you could actually find the Venmo and PayPal in the link tree in my bio on TikTok. Put a message over on YouTube. The handle's also at the top of the phone screen. You could attach a message. I'll do my very best to read it out loud. Let's go to move on to the next guest. You know, honestly, the worst part of it all is I'm not even surprised. Like, I don't know why. I just don't even have like a visceral reaction to that last guest doing that. Because I'm just like not surprised at all. That's just MAGA, man. It's like, it's just so crazy that like, I'm not surprised by a Trump supporter hailing Hitler and saying that immigrants should be thrown in camps. Because that's where we're at as a country. And that is exactly why you should get involved. That's why you should vote. That's why you should be loud. That's why you should use your voice. Because that's where we're at, man. That's where we're at. Do you support Trump?
Hello?
Do you support Trump?
Please don't kick me. I added somehow by accident.
Oh, no worries. I don't know if he said, please don't kick me. Like I said, guys, honestly, the audio for the stream today is really bad for me because only one of the two ears of my headsets is working. So we're going to go to move on to the next guest. Y'all only hop inside of the queue. We got a couple people to thank, and we only have around 30 minutes left on the live stream, unfortunately. Welcome into You Support Trump.
Of course I support Trump.
How old are you?
18.
Okay, give me one moment. Ben, thank you so much for the $25 donation over on Venmo. Show some love to Ben down below in that comment section. I really appreciate you so much for that love, man. That is very kind of you. Ben with the 25 says, so, the crime isn't happening, but it might happen. That's like building zombie shelters, quote unquote, just in case the dead get ambitious. Appreciate you so much for the $25, Ben. I appreciate you. Michael, thank you so much for the $20 in Venmo, who says it's too long to cover on your stream, but Republican Senator Thom Tillis just utterly eviscerated Kristi Noem in a mic drop smackdown. Wait, a Republican senator? I'll have to take a look at that. Thank you for the $20 and thank you for letting me know. RJ, thank you for the 5. Alexandria, thank you for the $10. Who says, cook 'em, Sir Withers. Appreciate you so much for that love, Alexandria. And then Laura, thank you so much for the $10 as well. We are all caught up over on Venmo. I appreciate y'all so very much for the love. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. Show some love to all of our donors down below. Let's quickly catch up over on PayPal as well. Thank you so much for the $5 to Lily. Caroline, thank you so much for the $10. Who says, my historian and German heart is literally breaking right now with this guest. Huge respect to you, because that would have been the point. I would have completely lost it and told him a few choice words. I don't know how you do it, really. Thank you for the $10, Caroline. That guy was nuts, man. I mean, it's super disheartening, because that's where we're at as a country. Super disheartening. Brittany, thank you so much for the $24 over on PayPal. Thank you so very much for the love and support. Thank you so much for the love. All the love in the world to you, Brittany. Brittany with the 24 says, thank you for what you do. I watch every night from the UK. Wish there's more people like you. Appreciate you. Well, I appreciate you as well. Show some love to Brittany down below in that chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then Katharina, thank you for the $10 as well. He says, Dean, you motivated me to be a more confident feminist. And I also want to do something like you one day after school, but I'm a bit afraid on how to start. Do you have any tips? Yeah, good tips are don't be scared to be outspoken and don't feel embarrassed either. I'd say probably the biggest social barrier to people, getting into the space of being a political commentator is that original sense of social embarrassment, because it kind of takes a bit to be outspoken about exactly what you believe in, knowing that everyone in the world, including your friends and family members, will possibly hear it, So don't feel embarrassed to be outspoken would be my biggest piece of advice. And be consistent. If you want to do it online, be consistent. Isabella, thank you for the $10. And then Kala, that is Calah, thank you for the $12. Who says, hey, after today's live, I might have to take a break from watching your streams for the sake of my mental health. Yeah, man. Do take a break, man. It's still important to live your life and ensure that your mental health is not on the line. SJ, thank you for the $10 as well. I appreciate you so much, as well as I just read your message there. Thank you so much for the love. And Isabella, thank you for the $15. Who says, will you be on live tomorrow? Most likely. Thank you for the support. And then S, thank you so much for the $10. He says, we love you for real. Dude, shout out to you. Thank you so much for the support. And we just got one more over on PayPal a moment ago. Michelle, thank you so much for the $50 donation. Let's get another 500 Michelle W's. Michelle, you've been so kind today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Show some love to Michelle down below. Michelle the 50 says, it is really sad that people think it's okay for them to do this. Almost time for you to travel. I know, right? Enjoy this second. $50 from me. Well, thank you for the love, Michelle. Can we watch the Jubilee live? So no, the Jubilee will not be airing live. However, it will be on their channel hopefully within the next couple weeks. Thank you for the $50, Michelle. And then James, thank you for the $5. Who says, thank you, Dean, for exposing the cult known as MAGA. I do my best. Drake, thank you so much for the $5. And then over on Super Chat, Luna, thank you for another 12 euros. I appreciate y'all so much. One last time, if you guys do want to support me, you can find my Venmo and my PayPal in the link tree in the bio of my TikTok account, pin message on YouTube. The handle's also at the top of the phone screen. I get 100% of those proceeds. You could attach a message, and I'll even try my best to read it out loud. Thank you guys so much for the love. Go ahead and take it away. Tell us why the hell you support a rapist as president.
Because I don't like illegal immigrants killing American citizens.
Okay. So do you think that Donald Trump is stopping undocumented immigrants from killing American citizens?
Yes.
I'd argue otherwise. Because a significantly smaller proportion of the undocumented immigrants that he's deported, both proportional and nominal, have been undocumented immigrants with prior violent offenses that are more likely to recommit than both the Biden and the Obama administration, because he has widened the scope of the deportation efforts and is now focusing on anybody and everybody, including legal immigrants like asylum seekers.
You're wrong.
Okay. Would you like my source? My source would be ice.gov/statistics, the Khalil Institute, the American Immigration Institute. I mean, there's are three really good sources.
What's my 15th repost?
I don't know.
Why do they keep saying that?
My phone is glitching out, so I can't check it. But could you please respond to what I said?
Fuck you, Dean. I hate you.
Why do you hate me?
Because you got to talk to Aiden Ross and I didn't. This ain't fair. What kind of world do we live in? You get to talk to Aiden Ross and I.
Yeah. All right. See ya. We're gonna move on to the next guest. You want to talk to Aiden Ross? Wow. That's new. I rarely hear that. You want to talk to Aiden Ross. Hi, do you support Trump?
Yes, Dean.
That's like a 3-year-old, dude. Get off your mother's cell phone, please and thank you. All right. I did not know that you could download TikTok on the sticky Kindle from 2007. Must have gotten a software update. Hi, do you support Trump?
Yes, I do. And I support you too.
You support me and you support Trump. That's
Yes.
that's kind of incoherent. I don't think that you could do both of those two things.
Well, I'm not going to lie to you, bro. I really got on here because I wanted to moan in the mic.
Thanks for being honest. I appreciate your honesty and not doing it. We're gonna go. That's kind of funny. I haven't heard that one before. That was kind of funny. What are we doing, man? What are we doing? Man, what are we doing? Do you support Trump? Get out of here. Get out, dude. What is going on, man? I think everyone's bored. Okay, it's like their lunch break at work. They're pretty bored. Oh, Rebecca Hernandez, you're back in the queue. Don't run, Rebecca. Don't run. Accept the guest request. You're already in the queue. Yeah, she did it again. Rebecca Hernandez joins our queue every day. I then accept her to join the live, and then she automatically turns around and leaves. Very unfortunate, quite frankly. Moving on to the next guest, guys. Only up inside of that queue of your MAGA, please, and thank you. We got Shay loading up into the live. There's a bunch of tough talkers down below in that comment section saying leftist Trump is still your president, but then they won't come up here to debate me because they're like 3 years old. Maybe. Shay, do you support Trump?
No, but I just want to say I love your work.
Man, thank you so much for that kind of Shay. I appreciate you. Shout out to Shay. Moving on to the next guest right now. Only off inside of that queue if you happen to be MAGA folks. We have, like I said, another 30 minutes left on the stream. Actually, now 20 minutes. Because I got to catch a plane out to LA. Hi, do you support Trump?
Yeah.
How old are you?
19.
What year were you born in?
2007.
2007. What month?
February 2nd.
Okay, yeah, you are 19. Cool. Let me thank a couple people, then I'll pass it to Mike. Miss Stephanie, this just came in. Thank you for the $20 over on Venmo. Says that last guest was disgusting. I hope this helps with a new headset. Well, thank you so much for the love, Stephanie. That is very kind of you. I think the headset fund. Listen, guys, I am all good. You do not need to send me money for the headset fund. I really appreciate it, though, and I appreciate you for your support. Show some love to Stephanie down below. Thank you. Let's get 200 Stephanie W's down below in those comment sections. Take it away, Ryan. Tell us why the hell you support Trump.
Most of his policies, but I have a question because you always like one of your main talking points, right? Is that a U.S. citizen has like a lot higher of a chance to commit a violent crime than an illegal immigrant. But since there's 300 million U.S. citizens and like only a few million illegal immigrants, wouldn't that logically make sense anyway?
Okay, so there's this concept called proportionality that plays.
Wait, so is that at play? Like, I was just trying to figure that. I didn't know.
Oh yes, that's what likelihood is.
Okay, so if there were like 10 of them in a room, there's like 6 of them being criminals. The chance of that being the case would be the Americans.
So, if we have 100 undocumented immigrants and 100 citizens, if the citizens committed 100 violent crimes, chances would be that in that same time period, the undocumented immigrants would have committed around 50 violent crimes.
Okay, so when you say that, that has nothing to do with the number of citizens, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Are you actually 19?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. So why do you support the rapist as president?
My dad was asking me about that, and I was arguing with him. I don't. My fault, bro. I didn't. Yeah, you're gonna kick me now.
No worries, man. Let's go to move on to the next guest. You just wanted to know that. No worries, man. I hope that helps. Moving on to the next guest, guys. Only up inside of that queue of your MAGA. Welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Sort of.
Sorta. How old are you?
I'm 18. My birthday is December 22nd, 2007. I registered to vote over the weekend.
What party did you register with?
Okay, I registered Republican, but only for certain policies.
Okay, knowing everything that you do now if the election was held tomorrow between Harris and Trump? Who do you vote for?
See, I actually don't know because I don't want you to like twist this into something negative, because I just really believe in like women's rights and stuff like that. And people are going to be like, oh, okay, so then why don't you support liberals? But I don't think that biological men should be competing in sports with biological women. I don't think that 10-year-olds should be given drugs to change their gender. I just think that it's wrong. So
Okay. Before we
I
continue
feel
this
like,
conversation, can you
yeah.
give me an example of a 10-year-old being given drugs to change their gender?
Well, I feel like I just see it all over the news, so I can't like
Then
give
it
you
should
like
be
a
pretty easy to
specific.
give me an example.
Well, it's okay. Well, I don't have any because I don't like. I just maybe I'm not a good debater, but like
Did you know that minors don't undergo sex reassignment surgery? Did you
Yeah,
know
but
that
I just
nobody supports minors undergoing sex reassignment surgery either? Like literally no one.
no, I don't believe that because that's all I see on the news.
Okay, what channels do you watch?
I watch CNN because my mom likes to put it on.
So CNN has like daily coverage about minors getting sex reassignment surgeries. I've never seen that before.
Okay, fine. So maybe not sex reassignment surgeries, but I saw a girl the other day on TikTok. Oh, wait, maybe it was the girl in the State of the Union address where her teacher said, maybe it wasn't State of the Union address. I don't know. I saw it online, and her teacher let her go to the boys' bathrooms and said that she had to go to the boys' bathrooms. Like, I don't support stuff like that, telling children that they should change their sex.
I would also not support and you're saying that this was a girl?
I think biologically. I don't.
Okay,
And I don't want to sound like rude.
So they were female. Were they trans or cis?
She was cis, but when she was
Okay,
younger,
so
she's
they
18
were
now.
women.
Yeah, but when she was younger, she like was confused, and her teacher like told her to go to the bathroom, go to the boys'
Okay. So
bathroom.
let's just like clear this up with something that maybe we could debate a little bit more conceptually. So do you think that trans women should be using the women's restroom?
No.
Okay, I'd argue that they should.
Why?
Because I think that it's safer for the women.
See, I'm not saying that it's okay. I think that they should have a bathroom for their
trans
own.
and cis women.
Wait, what? I didn't hear that.
I think that trans women using the women's restroom makes the women's restroom safer for the women, including both the cis and the trans women. Safer for
See, I
everybody.
completely disagree with that at all. I believe that, and I don't want people to turn this into like, I don't support LGBTQ. My grandma is literally a lesbian. I just think that there are some people who don't have the correct motives going into the bathrooms that, like, what's her name? Lily Tino, the one that videoed the other child. Like, I just think that
I agree that people shouldn't be filming in the bathrooms. And I also agree that when we attempt to determine how we should orient the restrooms, that there will be people with bad intentions that attempt to abuse it. Okay?
Exactly. So, but I don't want to say.
Just listen to what I'm
okay,
saying.
sorry.
Here. I won't say it's impossible for a cis man to want to take advantage of the fact that trans women are allowed inside of the women's restroom to then walk inside that space to take advantage of women.
Yes.
I would expect that to happen in some scenarios. But still, yet the reason why I'm led to believe that the restroom is safer for women if we allow trans women to use it is because if we don't and we rather segregate restrooms on the basis of sex, then we're allowing trans men to use it. Trans men are biologically female, and because of the effect of testosterone on any human body, trans men look just as masculine, if not more masculine presenting than the average cis man.
Yeah.
So I think the door would actually be wider to the perverted cis men to go into the women's restroom and take advantage of the people inside if we segregated the restrooms on the basis of biological sex, because then they could change nothing about their outward appearance and claim to be a trans man and go in the space.
Wait, I don't understand what you just said. I'm sorry. So you're saying, I'm confused. Why would
Let me put it in a sentence or less. I'm
Okay,
led
I'm
to
sorry.
believe that if we separate the restrooms on sex compared to gender identity, that would open the door to more masculine presenting people being able to use the women's restroom.
How?
Because of trans men who are female.
Yeah.
They're significantly more masculine presenting than trans women on average.
It doesn't matter if they're masculine presenting. Do they have a penis?
Well, it does matter if they're masculine presenting, because when people are walking into bathrooms, we're not looking at what's in between their legs. We're looking at how they appear outwardly. And because they're very masculine presenting outwardly, this would then lead to cis men abusing that to a higher level than otherwise, and then take advantage of women inside of the women's restroom. at a higher degree. I mean, it's simple. I mean, I think that the evaluation insofar as why trans women should be using the women's restroom is very simple. It's just safer for the people inside.
I feel like that does not make sense at all. How would that be safer for the women inside?
Because
if they
who's
have a
more
penis,
masculine presenting on average, trans women or trans
I
men?
don't care how they're presenting.
Well, then you don't care about the safety of the women inside, because
I do
that
care about
would
the safety of the women
that would be
inside.
the relevant factor, in which would either cause more or less cis men to go into the women's restroom and take advantage of people.
No,
You
the
you
relevant
should care about
factor is what is in between their legs.
That's actually not the relevant factor.
It
because
100% is.
The reason why that's not the relevant factor is because we don't check to see what's in between somebody's legs before they go into a bathroom.
Yeah, you don't. But then it's when they
So
use
then it's not the relevant
in the wrong
factor for
way.
the safety of the space, because we don't have like any social expectation of we have to check for like this set of genitalia in between your legs before you enter into a space. Like when a cis man wants to go into the women's restroom to take advantage of people inside, okay, their evaluation is just going to be, well, okay, well, what is relevant to me being able to go inside of that space easier or harder? Okay, it's going to be, well, would other people expect somebody that looks like me to be in that space, right?
No. Okay.
Well,
I
can
mean,
you answer?
yes.
Wait, no, that's insane. Obviously, okay, if a man's going to go into the woman's restroom to take advantage of people, their first thought is going to be, would the other people inside of that space expect others that look like me to be in there, right? And if the answer to that question is yes, then they're going to have a significantly easier time taking advantage of the women inside, because there's an expectation for people that look like him to be in that space. And I believe that that expectation absolutely exists when we segregate the restrooms on the basis of sex, because trans men are identical to cis men, much more masculine presenting in many scenarios as well. If you're telling me that fucking angel should be used in the woman's restroom, then predator from over there and pervert from over there, all these cis men would be acting like fucking angel, walking in the space, taking advantage of the people inside. Once
I
again,
see
for
what
the
you're
very
saying
last
now.
time.
Okay.
When we segregate the restrooms on the basis of sex, and we say Buck Angel should be taking a piss in the woman's restroom, opens the door much wider for cis men taking advantage of the people inside. And by the way, notice throughout the entirety of this conversation between yourself and myself, the evaluation about women's safety has not been about the threat that trans women pose, but rather of the threat that cis men pose. Okay? The threat of cis men like Trump, who's openly admitted to walking inside women's dressing rooms to look at the naked bodies of women and girls, who you would then turn around and say should be running the country from the Oval.
Okay, that's why I'm saying I sort of support Trump, because I do not support someone who is a rapist or on the Epstein files. I just feel like the policies that he has, but I hate him as a person.
Well, that's
hate
not a
everything
policy
he's
that
done.
he has. What policy of his restricts trans women from using the women's restroom?
Okay,
that's just something he said that he doesn't like. It's not a policy, it's a virtue signal.
Sorry, I had an alarm go off, so it took me off of the live.
I said that's not a policy of his. It's a virtue signal.
Yeah, and I would rather have someone with that virtue signal, but then you're going to say, oh,
Okay,
well,
so then you
he has
actually care
terrible
about who the
virtues.
person is, not about their policy. So then why don't you consider the fact that he's a rapist who's abused kids? Allegedly.
Well, I feel like
for
at this
TikTok,
point, everyone in politics
allegedly,
has
guys.
abused kids.
TikTok, that's allegedly. Don't ban me for misinfo. Go
Jack
ahead.
will say allegedly.
No, yes, you do for TikTok. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Well, I feel like allegedly everyone in politics has allegedly abused kids at this point. So I just like, I don't even
What's the
know.
evidence that Kamala Harris has taken advantage of children?
Well, I mean, like, wasn't she on the Epstein files too?
No.
I saw that on TikTok. There was a list of all the names, and like she was on it or something, and Joe Biden was on it. Bill Clinton was on it.
The TikTok that you saw was misinformation.
I don't believe that, because I also saw it on the Justice website.
On the Justice website, really? So what in what file does it talk about Kamala Harris abusing kids? Tell us.
It also talked about Beyonce. There's like all of them were in there, and it's just like if I were to vote
where
this
can I find that?
weekend-
Where can I find that?
If you like put in her name, like there's like a thing, there's like a search bar, you could like put in her name.
Okay, there's only 83 mentions of Kamala Harris's name in the Epstein files. I just read.
Yeah, so she was in them.
You idiot! Your name being mentioned.
Hey, that was mean.
Well, I'm sorry. It was honest.
Isn't this supposed to be respectful debate?
I'm sorry. It was honest.
I'm not an idiot. I would admit that
sorry.
maybe I'm a little uneducated, but I wouldn't say I'm an
So that
idiot.
wasn't okay. Let me rephrase my sentence. That was an idiotic statement.
Or you could say uneducated, because maybe I am uneducated. I'm 18. They don't teach me this in school. I'm just going based off what I see in the world.
I just think it becomes idiotic when you're making a false claim about somebody being a pedophile to justify supporting a rapist as president. You get it?
I mean, like, yeah, I
Right?
get that.
Like, let
I
me
get
just respond to this real quick. Kamala Harris is not incriminated by the Epstein files. That's a lie. That's not true. There's no evidence within the Epstein files that she engaged in any wrongdoing. And by the way, that would make sense because when Epstein's Island was popping off and shit,
Yeah, she was
like
young.
a 20, 30-year-old woman. Okay? 20 to 30-year-old women, if they were involved with Epstein, were survivors. But she wasn't involved with Epstein. And
Okay, well
the
then can we
times
talk
that
about
she's mentioned
Iran?
inside of the Epstein files is solely like in reference to her in public office or like a passing mention of her name in various documents and PDFs, not like in emails being incriminated. And we can't because I actually have to hop off live soon. So I thought that I'd spend the last little bit of the live just talking to you guys in the chat. I'm sorry for a little bit of a shorter stream today, folks. But, you know, I gotta head out to LA. Hello, Liam. Liam? Good boy, Liam.
Yes.
Are you here? Can I ask you a question?
If it's going to be respectful,
Yeah, sure.
is it going to be trolling?
No,
I'm sure
no.
you're
I'm
gonna
just gonna ask you a
troll.
question.
I know you're going to kick me, bro. I know it. I know the
Can I
way
ask you a
it works.
question?
Yeah, ask me a serious question.
Okay,
dude.
serious question right now. Are you pooping?
Can I ask you one? If you ask me one, I will answer your question.
Are you pooping? Are you on the
You want, me,
toilet?
you want me to turn on my camera?
No! Last time you did that, you were on the toilet. Don't do it again. No.
Again, people don't poop in their jackets. I definitely don't poop
Well,
in my jacket.
I'd say that MAGA lunatics likely poop in their. They probably put a jacket on to poop.
So I'm a MAGA lunatic. Who
Yeah.
poops
Hey,
in
Tess,
his
thank you so.
jacket.
Yes, absolutely. Tess, thank you for the $15 over on Venmo. Who says Noma's getting lit up by every senator in her hearing today, including the GOP. Always makes the day a little bit brighter. Safe travels. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to take a good old listen to that while I'm on the plane. Thank you for the $15, Tess. Huge shout out to you. Show some love to Tess down below. Same thing to Will. Thank you for the $10. Who says, hey Dean, if you're allergic to Momo, you should look into adding egg yolk protein to her diet. She actually does have that in her diet. Yeah, she does, and it helps. Thank you for the $10. And then a big one here, Miss Patsy. Thank you so much for the $30 donation over on Venmo. Who says, nice change. Was able to listen to your live today during my teacher conference period and lunch. Enjoy your flight and safe travels. Hell yes, Patsy. I hope that you had a good time, and I hope that you're enjoying that live stream. Thank you for the $30, and I appreciate you wishing me some safe travels. Same thing to Sarah. Thank you for the $25. Who says, VOD watcher here for over a year now, but so happy I could watch you live today. You've helped me so much with my MAGA parent, and I appreciate you. Well, I really appreciate you too. Huge shout out to you, Tess. Thank you so very much for the $25. Show some love to Tess down below, folks. Thank you a billion times over. Over on PayPal, same thing to Alexandria. Thank you for the $11. Who says, Alexandria here. Listening to you debate the MAGA gang has become my new daily my new daily practice. Thank you for being you. Well, thank you so much, Alexandra. Liam, can you thank the donors for supporting me?
Yeah. Thank you, donors, for supporting Dean in his endeavors. I mean, I'm not going to troll you today. I just had a couple of quick questions because I know you want to get off the line.
Okay. What's one question?
I want to know why you support Kamala Harris at this point when she does not support taking down the government of Iran that are putting people in tyranny. She came out and said that the American people do not want this. They do not want
I mean,
this.
she's true. 80% of Americans do not support the
No,
war.
wait a minute. I'm almost finished. And you, as a smart young man, you put in a lot of research and stuff, and when do you step away from your support of someone like Kamala Harris and actually go, you know what? I don't agree with Trump's policies. I don't agree with Trump, but I definitely can't back someone like Kamala Harris.
Well, it's
When
hard
does-
for me
when
to.
does that
It's
happen?
hard for that to be the red line when I kind of agree with her.
You agree with her. So
I think-
what?
I think that every single time we've toppled a dictator, it's just led to civil war, violent revolution, and then overthrow of tyrants.
Why did
I don't think we have the time to get onto that on live because you got to hop off here in a couple minutes. But it's like every single time we do that, it just leads to worse conditions for the people in the country. It's like, I get it. If I was not educated on history, then I would definitely be right there with you. Right? Like, I'm sure that like every person watching this live can kind of put themselves in a mental state of being historically illiterate, not knowing anything about America interventionism and imperialism and how that's failed historically. Like, oh yeah, I support killing brutalistic dictators. It's a good thing what Trump did. I'm sure that we could all put ourselves in that mindset. But when we kind of open ourselves up to nuance and historical and lessons from history here, it becomes clear every time we've done it, it hasn't worked. I mean, even Charlie Kirk agreed with this statement. That's how true it is. Now, folks, I gotta hop off here. I actually noticed that there's a viewer, Mr. Parker. Parker, I could text you about this, but I was wondering if I could pay you some gas money later to take me to a guitar center rather close to where I'm staying so I can grab a new headset. Today when I was on stream, I accidentally pulled on this, and now only one of the 2 ears works. So let me know if you're down. But anyways, folks, I gotta hop off here. I have a flight here pretty soon. I will see you all tomorrow. I'll be doing a stream out of the Airbnb. Might even do it tonight. Fuck it. Might even do it tonight. So I think that me and Parker might do some battles. I think Parker's actually going live like literally right now. So go rate him at Parker Get a Job. Peace, love all of y'all. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.